the greatest theme is, and again, it's ruined because of the Laps fan, as the AJ Styles. I am, I am, I am, I am.
That's my favorite TNA theme ever.
It is. That's the best TNA theme. I mean, what else we got?
Samoa Joe's.
Yeah.
Kurt
It's just
Angle's.
basic. It's just basic dread music, though. Too. It'd be good, like as a movie score. Like,
yeah, Kurt Angle's definitely. Kurt Angle actually might be number one.
See, I think it starts out good, and then it's not a good song. I think it just starts out with the like. I don't want to hear the trademark if it's not with John Cena. No offense to him, but come on. I'm trying to hear what you got to say, but I often feel like they would just always talk over themes, though. That's why, like, I'm trying to think, like LAX. Like, I could never really remember their theme. Beer Money, again, you just hear the but Beer Money was just sorry about your damn luck, and then it would just be like, can't have my money without my beer, can't have my beer without my money. Like there are Titantrons, or again just so basic. I mean, no, the Jeff Hardy, the Modest to the top, that's probably a top tier one.
That's top 3.
Yeah.
And then the second one, there'll never be another me.
No, we're not going there.
He did most of the songs too.
My creatures. Yeah, I mean,
I don't remember the T's for some reason.
Neither do I. But again, they did have a lot of like basic ones too. Like I said, they would just always talk over them. That's why you can never really hear them, because like Mike Tenay and then the late Don West would just have to build the story to the match as they were walking towards the ring. And then when Josh Matthews and Jimmy Borash and whoever else, yeah, just like these themes don't really resonate, despite some of them being iconic. Not all of them, but some of them.
Jerry Borash and Jim Norton, bruh, might be twins in the alternate universe somehow.
The fact that he's bald now, I can say that's not racism, because they do look alike.
Oh, he's bald now, Jerry?
Jeremy Borash, yeah, or at least close to it, yeah.
I haven't seen him in years.
If he's not bald all the way, he's damn near close to it, I'd say. But
is he working? What is he doing now?
I think he still does the social media for WWE. Yeah, I saw him at the NXT live event I went to, where he was like walking out with like, a Steadicam with a phone on it. I think he's still doing that stuff.
I mean, he might be the guy for it, just because he had that look, no disrespect, of a look that's probably like a techie guy. So
that's why they hired him. Yeah.
Yeah, the dude social media for WWE, spot on recruitment with that.
Mm-hmm. But like, no, that was like the thing he was starting to get in charge of at TNA. Besides like warming up the crowd and all that stuff, is like he wanted to do like production stuff, and that's why WWE hired him. Is like whatever he was trying to do over there in terms of like online engagement, and it's like the live event stuff that you see on the Instagram or the Twitter, like when someone's walking after they've had a match. It's that type of stuff, like that, footage, like comment on the match you just had and preview next week's show. But we'll talk about some wrestling in a little bit. I mean, I wanted to ask you something first, because off air you just talked about you got to watch some football, and last week you had an Instagram post. So are you officially ready to make a decision about choosing a new team? Has it come to that point yet? Because I just want to say, at your age, you have to.
I'm deciding between taking my talents to the Raiders.
Wow, that's.
The Rams. I'm going.
I can't
home,
even.
Brother. I gotta go. I can't jump on the 49er bandwagon.
I would say no. You can.
No, because that's just disrespectful at that point, because y'all are rival teams.
No, but you at least pay attention to the team. You at least are knowledgeable about the team. It's not just because they're winning. But
it's because they're home. I pay attention to home teams.
But like, this is I'm thinking like a real LeBron James tell us about your decision, LeBron. Well, I was making this decision, and it was a tough decision. You know, a lot of good options for this decision. Like, and Jim Garrett's like, how often did you think about this decision? Yeah. So, is it the fact that not just because they continue losing the playoffs, but personnel more than anything?
No, just the quarterback. I've always had a problem with Mike McCarthy since he was with that trash. What's the name of the team? The Cheeseheads, those jabronis. Yeah, the guy in the comment section is a fan of them. Even though they got a great quarterback. Oh God, it must feel so good to have a quarterback that was under the lineage of Aaron Rodgers. Mr. Third Eye, or if you white, you can't have a third eye. Mr. Just
you don't think so?
No, because he said Dolphins having sex is healing him. Did he say that, or am I making that up, people?
Say it again.
Aaron Rodgers said Dolphins are helping him heal. Dolphins having sex are helping him
He
heal.
admitted to taking ayahuasca, didn't he? So I'm not going to trust anyone who's ever taken ayahuasca.
I mean, that's not a thing. No.
I don't think you can shake that off, though.
Hell you can take it, bro. You could buy it at the store. You know that, right? Like, you could buy it at Target.
But what I'm saying is, if you're openly taking that, I'm not gonna. I would rather trust someone on cocaine because at least they're just more energized.
So you don't trust anybody that's doing any like
the DMT or the psychedelics, none of that stuff. Yeah, I don't trust stuff like that. I think that stuff rot your brain more than.
Well, depending on how much you take, yeah, like acid. But I'm saying holistic, like medicine has always been around forever. So if he's doing ayahuasca, it just depends on how much he's doing.
It's been around forever, but for the natives who grew up on it and used it for their purposes, not people who just started taking it out of nowhere
I'm sure.
What should I do differently?
It's not ayahuasca. It's not my fault for cutting you off. It's not ayahuasca that you can buy at the store. It's some mushroom supplement. It's not ayahuasca because ayahuasca you got to smoke that. But
all that stuff, ayahuasca, peyote, I ain't interested in none of that shit. I ain't trying to lose my fucking mind.
The Zen master took that.
And look at him.
Yes, See? 11 championships.
No, okay. You can't use that as the reason he won.
Yes, the fuck I can. 5 Hall of Famers, 11 championships is the issue.
No, all right. And this is the argument I get with are coaches overrated or not. Like, yes, Phil Jackson was a great coach because he won championships with great players because Doug Collins couldn't get past a certain point. And who was coaching the Lakers right before he did? It wasn't Magic, right? It was someone else.
Damn it. I just had the name too. Let me look it up.
But anyway, he like I said about Steve Kerr last week, he was the guy able to utilize these pieces correctly. But I'm not going to attribute his success to taking peyote. Like that unlocked, again, his third eye, the rare white man third eye to push them to the championship level. And let's not forget, like, isn't he just Tex Winter's protege?
Yeah,
doesn't he just owe it all to a scheme?
Yeah, I mean, Tex Winters is the architect for his offense being Phil Jackson. But at the same time, with the triangle offense, but at the same time, you still got to be able to coach. You can't be darkening him right now, just sitting there with your hands.
I agree. He did make good coach decisions, like when, again, the famous moment in the finals game when he was like, MJ, who's open? MJ, who's open? He's like, Pax is open. So give him the fucking ball. Like, that's what coaches are supposed to do. Like, I agree, but I'm not just going to be like, because he took all these drugs and believed in Zen, that's why he won all of his titles. Like, come on.
You still got to have an IQ for it. It's the same thing as a player. You still got to have an IQ for everything. Was it Kurt Rambis? My fault, I'm still looking it up. I know Kurt Rambis was in later years, but let me look it up. No, so you still have to have
He
an
was a
IQ
coach in
pretty
later
good.
years, but I don't think he was the Lakers coach. He was Minnesota, New York, and I don't think he was the Lakers after or before Phil. I mean after Phil for
No,
sure he wasn't, but he must have been before Phil then.
no, and I know the name of it, but I'm looking it up right now, so I won't mess up. Because in '90, oh shit, it was Kurt Rambis before Phil in
Oh, see,
'99.
what would make sense?
Yeah. Uh, no, you still have to have players that's all in with your philosophy, so to speak. Not
Yeah.
saying they were into that Zen stuff, but if it's a guy who came off of 6 titles, you might listen to the dude that's done multiple mushrooms. I don't know. You might listen to the dude that do sage, because I know Shaq talked about it. He would put something like weed. It was called sage in the training room. So it's like you're gonna dial in if that's gonna get you 3 titles, a three-peat, you're gonna win. And then when you Kobe, God bless, 2 more titles, you're gonna probably listen to all that. The thing is with the NBA, you can pass for that. I mean, obviously, NBA coaches are the most disrespected coaches in sports right now. NFL coaches, you got to be different. You got to be wired different.
You got to do a lot more work. Yeah.
Yeah, to have grown men that's average weight 190 to 300 pounds listen to you. All right. So you got to have something else that makes them listen. The reason why it works for, damn it, I'm forgetting names. The Lions coach, the reason why it works for him, yeah, the reason why people are down in because it's him. Because this
he was
is
in
a
the
franchise.
grind.
Yeah, and this is a franchise that hasn't won any shit. They never won anything. But the last time they were in the playoffs or not the playoffs, the last time they got this far was 32 years ago. So you have to believe something because this is a losing franchise. These are the bad news bears, essentially, of the end today. So you got to believe something to even get that far.
Well, that's why the whole is he more of an old school coach with like we just got to play harder and more physical than everyone? Yeah, he comes from that mindset. He was a tight end when he played, and he just kind of has that vibe to him because he's this big, bulky guy and like has this voice to him. But like, and the fact that he's like, screw the analytics, we go on fourth every time. Fuck what you heard. Like, throw the damn sheet away. And Kyle Shanahan's the opposite of that. Like, he didn't play NFL football. He barely played college football. And he's the son of a former coach. And he's about scheme more than, we got to play grinded out football. It's about, you play this style of offense, you play a role within the offense, you'll succeed, we'll succeed. And that's the dynamics where I think it gets tricky for basketball because, again, you can just have a great player and coast or continue to get lucky and like have things break your way. Because I guess the whole point of like Ty Lue, he's someone who's actually a good coach. Like he won that title with the Cavs and then it's shown with the Clippers that, they've made the playoffs with him as a coach. And sure, he's had Kawhi and Paul George, but they've gotten injured at the wrong times and still won games. Or even now with the players they have, he's still turning it into something. But I think the NBA, a coach can rely on the players more than the NFL coaches can because it's that thing of like I said, like if a star player goes down, the team can rally behind and continue to go forward. Like Bill Simmons had the Ewing theory. Like the Knicks that year, the lockout year when Patrick Ewing was out, they played better without him. And that was like, is that great coaching by Jeff Van Gundy at that point? Or is that because you didn't need a star to win? It's always that tough interaction in terms of like, do we need great coaches or do we need great players? You know what I mean?
When you have both, you win titles. If I'm believing in your system, I'm a great player or a good player that wants to be great. More so, that's how it works out. If it's a good player that wants to be great, going back to the greatest of all time, being Jordan, people knew he was going to be good. But it took a while for people to be like, oh, this dude is going to be great. He had to work already. He had the mindset already. He had the accolades by the time I'm about to say Phil Collins. By the time
Doug Collins
got there, thank you. I can hear it coming tonight. So when Doug got there, it showed he got an MVP, he got a defensive player of the year. I think he got defensive player of the year in '89. So it showed, okay, this is where he's going. But when you start losing to a team that's better coached, God bless, better players, it's like, all right, we need something else because we got the players, but we're missing that coach part. Then when they kicked it in the high gear and got field, it was like, all right, cool, it's connected. So you have to be a good player, almost great, to become a great player once you get a great coach. When you're young. Now, when you older, like LeBron, at that point, all right, Eric Spoelstra, coached us. We got 2 titles back to back.
But as we've seen, real quick, Eric Spoelstra has shown he's a great coach because he's taken no names to 2 finals.
Who's the no name?
And that's like the Duncan Robinsons, the Gabe Vincents, the Max Strus. Like he's taken no-name players, put them into this lineup with Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, but like he's taking guys that no one else would want, put them into the Heat culture, the Heat philosophy, and they work within this system, and that's why they went to 2 finals when no one expected them to. That's real coaching to me, is getting the most out of players that other coaches don't see nothing in.
Yeah, no, he's a genius player. Genius coach. But I'm thinking about it now as we're having this conversation. Obviously, for LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh to win those titles, you have to be all in with the system. But when you LeBron, I am the system. I know James Harden just said that.
Yeah.
But no, LeBron is the system. We're going to play this way because every single team he's been on, he's played different. It's never just, all right, I'm going to play my way with this team. I mean, obviously getting to the hoop, it's his go-to switching with the right, or now he can do the left hand. But at first it was, I'm driving with the right. I got the 3 now this season because obviously the athleticism is dwindling down now. We see it this year. Yeah, he's had some dunks, but he can't do that every single game. He's been like, hold on, let me shoot more.
Yeah, he's got to conserve himself. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the most I've ever seen him shoot in his life is this season. I mean, he's doing it still. Averages like 26 points, which is insane. 25 points, which is still insane. But
I see, to go back to 2 points I was making, like when I said a few weeks ago that if the Ravens were to lose before the Super Bowl, this is why you maybe need to swap out John Harbaugh, not because he's a bad coach, he's a great coach, but like you're saying, like to unlock something more with Lamar Jackson, maybe you need someone new at the helm to create a more innovative offense or something to get more out of this team, because you've taken it to the same starting point to end point every single time, which is you start great, same playoff loss. It's the same thing we just talked about with the Cowboys at the start, where like, why run it back with McCarthy when it's been 3 straight years of the same thing? And the other thing is that D'Amico Ryans is that in between of Dan Campbell and Kyle Shanahan, scheme and toughness. And that's why they're successful in his first year. And I knew he'd be a great coach based off how he was as a coordinator and how he was as a player. Like, it makes sense that he's successful with a team that no one thought would be good in their first year. That's why that matchup tomorrow is really the most intriguing out of all the games.
Yeah. Shouts out to Bomani Jones. He said that too. He was like, you think Lamar's saying, hey, I got to get this win. Like, I got to, just because
he has to.
Yeah, because he got to play like it's no tomorrow.
No, that's what I mean. Like, is because if they lose tomorrow, again, is it on John Harbaugh, who hasn't won since Joe Flacco got red hot, or is it on Lamar? Joe Flacco, if you want to, or is it on Lamar, who's again MVP caliber every single year until is he gonna be the MVP? I mean, the NFL's Paul George. You know what I mean? Is he gonna fail?
It's Peyton Manning all over again.
Yeah, and that was Peyton Manning continued to fail until he finally won his. But that's what makes Pat Mahomes is like he's won 2 Super Bowls. He's lost 2 AFC title games. Like
Tom Brady, history repeats.
And he lost the Super Bowl too. Like he's made it to these points that like a great quarterback shows, and that's why Andy Reid's still coaching, because he's able to get the most out of this guy. Even though at this point they're the lowest they've been with these receivers who drop everything, and Travis Kelce being cursed by Taylor Swift, but still, it's
he ain't cursed by that woman,
bruh. Come on,
he ain't cursed by that woman, bruh. I mean,
watch what happens next year. Watch what happens next year when they're not together. Watch.
I might he might be weak in the knees because
he's cursed. She's a cursed woman.
And what? I don't think we should have this conversation.
Look what happened to Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, he's just a weirdo.
Look what happened to John Mayer.
He's just John Mayer. I don't know what to say. Doom and gloom.
All these guys,
dude, this is the organization curse. This might be Andy Reid curse.
He's already won 2 Super Bowls. What do you mean?
No, but eventually people going. No, it's somebody cursing. I'm not specifically saying it's Andy. It might be the organization. It can't just be on her.
It's on her because they literally won the Super Bowl last year. Sure, there was that was a call. I mean, a bad call or that was a good call fiasco, but they still won. And look at the Eagles. They proved to everyone that they're frauds. They're front runners.
It's the Eagles, of course.
Yeah.
We expected them to win just because they got to the Super Bowl?
No, hell no. Out of the teams that made it to the playoffs in the NFC, I'm like, the only teams I'm like they might give us tough games are Detroit, Green Bay, and then the Rams. And luckily the Rams got kicked out by Detroit. But I'm like, we'll beat Tampa, we can beat Dallas, and we can beat Philadelphia. No question. Because we did already. And those teams didn't improve over the course of the season. Huh?
Not to cut you off, real quick before we transition over, talking about your team. What I'm saying as far as the curse goes, is it Andy Reid? Probably not. Let me rephrase what I'm saying. Is it Andy Reid? Probably not. Is it the organization? Probably not. No, it is the organization. Let me not backpedal on that. It's definitely organization because, y'all just won a Super Bowl. I ain't got nobody to catch the ball. Pause.
But they won without Tyreek Hill, so that's what I mean. They can't be too cursed when you win without the best receiver in football right now.
Which I know that I don't remember their salary cap, but I would have tried to make a move to keep Tyreek Hill. Yeah,
you do the Warriors thing where you sacrifice everyone else to have 3 good players.
Yeah, like that's Tyreek Hill, and I mean obviously this is football, so I got to keep my offensive line intact and my defensive line. But at the same time, bro, that's Tyreek Hill. It's going to be a while before we see another wide receiver like this.
But this is why drafting is so key, and not just in terms of trading draft picks in the NFL, because that's what teams will do to get a star player for a season and a half or half a season. But like, you have to know how to scout and how to pick players so you can have them at a cheap price and hope they produce. Like that's why the Niners have been successful, because they found Deebo Samuel in the second round. No, like you were saying, like, to be honest, like that's why they found Brown and Ayuk after Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson had all been picked before him, and Brandon Ayuk is better than 2 of those guys already. One is, incarcerated, so that doesn't count, but still it does. But regardless, like you have to know how to scout, and you have to have money to sign free agents. It's the combination of you have to know ball and you have to have money to compete, because that's what I always say. Like if you have no money, you can only compete to a certain level.
Yeah. So let's get back to your team.
You're right to say like Kansas City is stupid for letting Tyreek Hill go because they thought
it just.
No, I bet they thought like it's Pat Mahomes. He can make anyone good. And he's not Tom Brady. And I don't mean that as just like Tom Brady had 3 great years, barely, of Randy Moss, and then 3 great years of Wes Welker. And then Julian Edelman was a good possession receiver. But other than that, he had no weapons. No offense to Deion Branch or anyone like that. But like they weren't top tier guys, top 10 guys at the receiver position. And he made guys better. Sure, he had Gronk. That again, for the last 3 Super Bowls, he had Gronk. But
right, who is arguably the greatest tight end of all time?
Yeah.
Well, now they changed the greatest tight end of all time every year. It's Travis Kelce now. They might say George next year.
It's Gronk. It's Gronk for being that big and be able to catch while being that big. Like you're built like Nick Bosa, and you can continue to make possession catches and actually run routes without seeming awkward.
But then 2 years after he retired, they said Aaron Gonzalez was the greatest tight end of all time.
Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think you're combining Aaron Hernandez and Tony Gonzalez. I'm like, that would be a nasty combination.
They both was killers. They both was killers. And Aaron was good. I mean, as a killer or on the field, off. I don't know.
No. So
Anyhow,
either way.
but
So be
Hernandez was
honest.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, as a
Yeah.
player. But we're gonna. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. But no,
So
last weekend I told Davis, I said, congratulations, y'all going to the Super Bowl.
I know tomorrow's a tough game. I'll be honest, that's a tough game tomorrow.
At the same time, I'm looking at the lines like, what if? That's gonna be, dude, that'd be the funniest like Rudy story.
Tampa Bay?
No. The Lions. The Lions going to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, no. I think the Lions. Here's again to beat Tampa Bay. Oh no, because I'm like Tampa Bay beat Philadelphia. Like, of course, Philadelphia is a train wreck, but like Tampa Bay barely got into the playoffs. It's like, so Detroit, all Detroit has to do is not mess up against Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay is not going to win the game by doing shit. They're going to hope you make a mistake and just it's like possession football in soccer. Like, just pass the ball back and forth to your teammates. Don't boot it down the field. Just hold on to it. Like, keep it here in the middle. Because old Baker Mayfield does it just like, let's just sling it out to the left, sling it out to the right.
That's it. And when you got Mike Evans, like we talked about, shouts out to everybody that got that clip going crazy. Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer, but this is also his contract year, so he got to play like his life depends on it. Even though they might hit him with
he's also got to play it safe too. Like, you can't, get injured. Boom.
Because when you're a wide receiver at 28, God forbid, they think you 58.
No,
in real life terms.
He's 31. Yeah,
he's 31. As a wideout in NFL, once you get 28, wow.
At least of him,
can't do nothing for you. So he might end up going to the Chiefs.
But as long as he can like catch the ball, they can convert him into a tight end or a third down receiver. As long as he can just hold on to the ball, a guy at his height is still going to be useful.
But you can't pay somebody for the third round.
No, I'm not saying pay him like first. Like, it's the thing where like, look what happened to, even though Jadeveon Clowney didn't turn out to be the first round pick everyone thought he did, but like, he's the great like, just add this guy to your defense every year or two, so he can just play a role in it and hope you get something out of him. It's not like he's a bust, but he's not an all-pro player either or a Pro Bowl player. He's just like, this guy contributes. It's not as much as we thought it would, but it's better than nothing.
Man, Clowney was so cold, bro, when he got to the Texans. And then, what was that, the second game when he got the ACL tear?
I think we're just lying to ourselves because it was a big hit in college, and that hyped him up for the next year. Because remember, he knocked the helmet off the guy.
Yeah, no, I'm about to look up his stats to make sure I'm not tripping.
And then the next year, he was barely playing because he was trying to make sure he didn't get injured right before the draft. And I can't remember, like you said, if he got his stats once he got to Houston, but it was just, he had great size and measurables. It's like, I think he had a great combine, and it was like, he looks good on paper, but like, is that going to transition to pro ball? Like, you can only look at on paper to a certain extent.
He is looking at his career highlights, second team All Pro in 2016. 3-time Pro Bowl from 2016 to 2018. But
I'm saying he was a guy like that before, but I'm saying at this point he's not going to be like how those guys, like how Aaron Donald is. Like Aaron Donald's going to be like that from the start of his career to the end of his career, basically.
This definitely his last season too.
But we'll see. Apparently he said like he wants to try to come back again based off how they made the playoffs this year. But
no. Go home, big fella. You one of the greatest defensive players of all time. Some people try to say you better than Lawrence Taylor. They said that, did they not? After he won that Super Bowl, say he was better.
Yeah, because he went on the defense version of Joe Flacco during that playoff run.
I was just talking about Joe Flacco, man. Hey, one of the greatest careers in sports history, dog. I could be mid and make $75 million because I just got a Super Bowl.
That's all was quarterbacks on the back of the that aren't top 10 guys, though.
If
top 5 guys, I should say.
Yeah, but if anybody's listening to this, if your kid is playing quarterback, make sure he tells the team, "Hey, I need a great defensive team." Why? Because I can get paid on the backs of them. Balls.
No, but this is why Alex Moran is one of the greatest characters of all time. Because he knew, like, You want to be the backup quarterback. It's the best job in sports. All you have to do is just sit on the sideline, but you play the highest profile position.
You know what would be crazy? If he ends up getting a starter job and then the nasty man becomes a backup again for the second time in 2 years.
See, the way it's going with him.
He about to be out the league.
Yeah, well, like at this point, if you're Cleveland, you're like, one, we knew it was a mistake when we did it because it was bad publicity. And he had been out of the he missed 2 whole seasons, correct?
1.5. Me and Em just talked about it. It was like 1.5.
Of course, Amp was talking.
Yeah, no, because we was talking about his career as a whole. Because we was talking about Joe Flacco, and then we had to we was talking about the Texans. How I thought this was going to be a 3-year project. CJ said nope.
Yeah. CJ and Flacco, yeah.
Yeah, we said nope. We about to go ahead and run it because I can't believe they went this far into the season.
That's still crazy again because I can't think of it. Well, I guess Miami last year a little bit, but I knew they were going to be good because Mike McDaniel's a great offensive mind. Granted, they have their shortcomings too, and that's probably the man who's playing quarterback. But Mike McDaniel can still draw up offensive plays like no one else except Kyle Shanahan and maybe Sean McVay. If they were to swap out Tua for someone else, that's the thing. Like, would they be better or worse? That's the real situation they're in.
Worse. I think he works for that system. Again, going back, I hate to sound passe, but it's the system that they have that revolves around him. Now, you're not saying this, but a lot of people got in the uproar because they got beat. First of all, they got beat in Kansas. Second, it was -4 degrees.
I'll write off games if there's horrendous weather. And I mean, like, it has to be pouring rain or like that, like freezing cold, because when we beat Green Bay 2 years ago in the playoffs, it was that freezing cold snow game, and Jimmy Garoppolo was throwing it and guys couldn't catch it. Aaron Rodgers had only completed 1 pass early in the game. That was a big deal. And the rest of the game was just like the team's holding onto the ball, trying to like, do we run it? I guess. Like, there's nothing else to do. It's like catching a stone out there. Like,
I don't think people understand how cold -4 is.
Yeah. And then in the rain, again, I'm slipping, I'm sliding. Like, you can't, you're running.
That's how the Steelers got to the playoffs against the Ravens.
Exactly. And that was the thing where when the Niners lost to the Browns, I'm like, well, no, the Browns are also a good physical team. But I'm like, there was the play early in the game where like Brock Purdy he threw it and the ball already slipped out. He did like it was a Benny Hill sketch. Like,
it's nothing you can do in the cold. There's all these myths that you can do when it's cold and playing NFL football. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Weather games, I'll cut guys slack because if you lose, and that's why Michael Irvin said it when it was cold, we was cold. Like, that's why it's an iconic quote, because you can't play in outdoor weather in a sport like that, Again, when it rains in golf, they cancel it. And this is a one-man sport where you just hit something to somewhere else, not someone.
So imagine being an offensive player, a running back, wide out, having tight end, trying to have lateral movement.
Yeah.
And it's raining. These cleats, it's only so much cleats could do.
Yeah.
All right. It's only so much you can do, and especially in the cold, because now they changed the turf. It's that artificial grass now. So you can't really lock in when you're trying to run through that.
Yeah.
Essentially, you'd be better off running on concrete. I was going to ask you this, though.
Good.
CJ Stroud, obviously, he's about to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. All-Pro first team? Shouldn't he be considered? Offensive All-Pro first team selection?
No, did they already select it? Wasn't it already Lamar?
Oh, yeah, damn. Because he's about to be the MVP. I'm tripping.
No, because if you were to say, like, if they did like the NBA, like, because they only do first and second team All Pro, they don't do 3 teams like the NBA does. I think you'd have to consider him third team because, like we were saying all season, like the MVPs were non-quarterback guys. It was McCaffrey, it was Tyreek Hill, it was Myles Garrett. If you actually want to did someone else an MVP besides Defensive Player of the Year, like it was and what other receiver would have been considered? But like, yeah, like, the non-quarterbacks had better MVP years than the quarterbacks did. And I'm not knocking it in terms of like Brock, because Brock Purdy at some point really should have been considered, and then he fumbled it towards the end, the winning stretch. Lamar picked it up towards the winning stretch, which is why he's riding in with all the momentum. And like I said, McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill, they kind of slowed down towards the end too after starting off red hot. But CJ Stroud, obviously he's rookie of the year. But if there was a third All-Pro, he should definitely be considered. I mean, he's already making the Pro Bowl, I think, right? Even though that isn't what it once was, but it's still, in terms of like having that accolade, still means a lot, again, for a guy who's a rookie and who took a team, again, that doesn't have many weapons. And a lot of people, and like I said a few weeks ago when I did that pod about black quarterbacks, I'm like, he's beating the Ohio State QB curse, which is impossible when you consider they had Troy Smith, Terrell Pryor, who switched positions. They 3 guys in terms of Braxton Miller, Cardell Jones,
Terrell Pryor in a minute. Remember he went undrafted?
He went in the supplemental draft.
Yeah,
it was that.
Wasn't it with some it's something
the tattoos?
Yeah,
and the merch for tattoos. Yeah,
and then he went in the sub draft.
Yep.
I'm gonna wait it out. All right, you big dummy.
He played quarterback for the Raiders. That was probably the 3rd or 4th Raider I've ever rooted for.
You like Jamarcus Russell?
No. I liked Janikowski. I liked Denarius Moore, who was this receiver they had for a couple of years. I liked Marquette King because he was the only black punter I'd ever seen until that point. And then it was Terrell Pryor right around that same time. Those are the only Raiders I've ever
liked. Rod Wilson.
Rod Woodson? I didn't see Rod Woodson, so no. And Charles Woodson, no.
They got on hold.
Warren Sapp, no. Again, I didn't like the Raiders, so.
I mean, that's my new team. Anybody that's listening.
Yeah, I'll be talking to CJ about them soon, I think.
Yeah.
But no, like JT Barrett, Cardell Jones, the late Dwayne Haskins, and then Justin Fields. He was kind of breaking it a little bit this season in terms of like that comeback he was trying to mount to keep his job. But other than that, like the Ohio State QBs, like it's a cursed job going into the NFL if you came from Ohio State as a quarterback. And I wanted the Niners to take Justin Fields in that draft, but then shout out to Black John Study. He was like, the Ohio State QB is never working. I'm like, I know they don't, but Troy Smith was good for us for a few games. There was a stretch where Troy Smith had a few good games as a Niner when Singletary was the coach. And I'm like, that's better than Alex Smith has been doing up until this point, and I don't want to see Sean Hill come back.
Yeah. Hey, man. I can't think of off the top of my head a couple of Ohio players I will say is cursed, but you basically got the list.
Okay, nope. We ain't going back down that road. Down that car wash. Nope.
Oh, we ain't buying the ticket for that ride? Cool.
But no, I think like maybe I'll tune into that Texans Ravens game because I don't really watch teams that aren't the Niners. I had the Cowboys Packers game on, but I wasn't paying attention to it.
I wasn't either.
but I might try to watch against Stroud Lamar because again I am rooting for Lamar. Lamar is probably my favorite non-Niner in the league right now. Joe Burrow is probably my second.
Bro, he upset. Yeah, like, damn. I could have played on my ankle, coach. No, you couldn't.
No, I think he would have played on. I think he could have because he was doing it to the start of the season. But again, he can't play with a bad hand. He's gonna like.
Yeah, no, but he started cooking, and everybody's like, "Oh, he back."
I think, and he gets better towards the end of the season. Like that's the thing. Like when he beat us, he was like Joe Burrow, like Joe Burrow, like, oh shit, because he played that game against the Niners, and like he was finding Jamar Chase, he was finding Higgins, he was finding all the guys. And there was that play where like he outrun Nick Bosa, and Nick Bosa like talked to him, and then Joe Burrow did like that showed like him talking back to Nick Bosa, and I bet he was like, "Take that shit, racist." Like
that's Pat Mahomes' worst enemy,
Joe Burrow.
Smoking.
So are they who are they Daniels and Styles in TNA?
No, because I don't know who, and I'm not saying this disrespect. I like the Fallen Angel, but I don't know who would be Christopher Daniels in that situation because, I mean, Daniels had that X Division title for a minute, yeah, but AJ had it longer, and AJ was more over. No disrespect again to Christopher Daniels.
It'd have to be, and to be honest, it'd have to probably be a guy who's more successful than the other, but he's won. But the matches are always fire because like Joe Burrow only beat them once in the playoffs, but they lost that Super Bowl after beating Kansas City. Whereas the next year, Kansas City beat them, and Mahomes won a second Super Bowl. So it'd have to be something like that, where like you're slightly more successful
versus Joe.
Yeah, or maybe more Kurt Angle Samoa Joe, because again, Kurt Angle was always beating Samoa Joe until that lockdown match. So well, he had his number constantly until that was the point of that feud. Yeah,
it might be that because
or Angle AJ Styles, because they had classics. I mean, especially in 2008, they were running that feud pretty well. For the love of Karen Angle.
Lamar then? Black and
Lamar?
Cheese? No, hell no. He might be Christian Cage.
I don't know. This is tough. Maybe TNA is not the right company either. But shit.
Okay, let's use the E instead. All right, let's use Right Now because they got a ton of guys over. The greatest company ever. Pat Mahomes obviously is Roman Reigns.
So you know what? Joe Burrow would have to be Cody Rhodes.
All-American guy.
Yeah.
Because nobody had heat.
And like he's successful he's successful up until the ultimate success point. No, Josh Allen is like,
hold on, that's pretty good though.
No. I think you're on to something with Mahomes being Roman, Joe Burrow being Cody. Lamar would have to be Seth, I guess. Yeah, or would Josh Allen be Seth? Like, you're not the star you think you are.
Nah, it's more so Lamar Seth because it's like I'm there, but you paying attention to me, but I can't.
And you got all the skills like no one else really has. Even though this is old, worn down, as we found to like this man needs knee surgery now, Seth Rollins.
4 to 6 weeks, people.
But and Josh Allen, I guess Josh Allen would be.
He might be
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
No, he might be Drew.
That's perfect. Yeah, he is Drew. Like, I don't see it, but then I do see it. Yeah, that's a great.
Even us leaving him out of these conversations makes him Drew, being Josh Allen.
And you have the great look. Like again, like the whole reason Josh Allen became Josh Allen is because like, look at him. He's 6'5". He's got a big arm. Well, how was he in college? He wasn't that good, but he but look at the size of him. Like,
you know who he is? Consensual Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He just a tad bit faster. That's all it is. When he get out the pocket, a tad bit faster.
Yeah. Which is why Chuck Klosterman had said this before years ago, because I already listened to this podcast. Like, when that draft was happening, he's like, they keep saying they want Lamar to change positions, and he's like, that's stupid. Josh Allen is the guy that might need to change positions. Like, if you made this guy a receiver, he might actually be pretty good. Like,
when he said that, I was like, bro, he ain't got no hands to do that. But what else can he do? Like, he can't be a specialty.
Well, then you make him a running back. You make him tall McCaffrey.
A 6'5" running back, though?
Is Derrick Henry our only tall running back right now?
Maybe Derrick like 6'2"-ish.
I thought he was 6'3".
That's still better than 6'5", though. Like, bro, you seeing over everybody, and still Derrick Henry.
But Derrick Henry, because he's built like Drew McIntyre. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Derrick Henry might be solo. Yeah,
no, Baker Mayfield is our truth, Tristan.
All right, we can't do that, bro.
No,
and
because
definitely he ain't Dirty Dom.
No, because everyone finds him funny and everyone likes his swagger, but like, I only like R-Truth at certain times. Like, R-Truth right now is on a great run. The shit he's been doing.
He ain't doing nothing else.
No, but I mean, the shit he's actually been doing comedy wise has been working versus some of the comedy stuff. No, but like some of his comedy stuff hasn't worked as well in the past, in between the Little Jimmy era when he was smoking cigarettes on TV.
You didn't like that?
No, I'm saying that like that was good,
Mm.
but then like everything in between, like when he, like, all right, so remember Miz had Sandow impersonate him, and then Dolph Ziggler had R-Truth impersonate him. I mean, not be his stuntman, I should say, not impersonate, like do his stunts for him, be his understudy.
Yeah,
like that was a little to me. Him bringing out the ladder during the Royal Rumble, that was pretty good. Thinking it was a Money in the Bank match, like stuff like that is like, again, it shows like you're really in on the bit of like something's wrong with this guy. He's not all the way there, if you know what I mean.
yeah, smoking a Newport on WWE TV is wild.
He was doing
people like we do it.
He was taking forever to do that.
Yeah, no,
would have been better if he had done like this type of like the scare type of cigarettes. When people in movies always smoke cigarettes, like
he smoked like rock.
No, that's
not rock, like crack, but yeah.
Oh, that I thought you meant rock.
Yeah.
Hey, nephew.
Right. Except it'll take him 10 minutes to light a cigarette like it do R-Truth.
Oh.
That's how you know R-Truth don't smoke cigarettes. It took him 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Average cigarette smokers, you don't even see the lighter. Just
no, we gotta talk about something that we've been talking about.
Cigarettes?
No, fuck no.
I'm about to say, I'm glad I quit.
We gotta talk about the Ted TV show. I watched all of it. Did you watch all of it finally?
Greatest show of this decade. Nobody.
So we're gonna do some spoilers just in terms of jokes and plot moments, but check it out again if you have Peacock by watching WWE. You can check this out easily. Real quick, I never saw Ted 2 because the trailer looked horrendous, but I have seen the amazing clip of them at the improv show, and the guy's like, "Give us ideas, and the guy's like,
9/11.
We need a place, 9/11, something else. We need a person, Robin Williams." And he's like, "Come on!" And then Mark over to like, "We're giving you ideas, man. These are good fucking ideas. Do some fucking comedy." Like, it's the funniest clip, and I think I saw that on Instagram, because Instagram reels will just show me movie clips or TV clips of shows I've never seen or watched. And I watched that clip. I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen Ted 2, but this is the most amazing joke ever. It's just, in terms of like shit you should not laugh at, it's up there with the Steve Irwin. What happened to the crocodile hunter? He died. That Norm Macdonald said. Like, I was shocked to hear. You mean he died? Like, in terms of shit you should not laugh at.
The clip that you seen me was great because how somebody edited it with the
animates the crocodile. Like, what? Only for that 1,000 fucking time, Fred. Like, I had that son of a bitch that writes him and a stupid kid. They were right near me. Nope. And a fruity fish killed him.
Did I ever tell you about the crocodile hunter?
Like a few weeks ago, we had talked about. I had said I watched the new Chappelle special and how just up and down in terms of like not good, and like some stuff was funny. It was, but like Ted the show has some of the like pure funny shit, and then some of the most outrageous, like, this is way too weird and going on way too long, because that's one of the problems. I'd say the only problem is there are some stuff that goes on a little too long.
It wouldn't be a Seth MacFarlane show without it, though.
No, I mean, like, certain bits go on so long. But what's funny, because one of the best moments in the Ted show is him, I want to watch a porno. Like, and then you're the character that you love the most, the mom, when she watches the porno and she then goes to the husband with the bananas, like, but she asks him, "Do you like this movie?" He's like, "It's a Clint Eastwood movie." They are all the same, you know. It's his
shot of him just as she eating a banana. Just that's
what are you doing?
Like, it's certain comedic stuff that you can't write.
Yeah,
that it's just like natural. He just slow pans to her. Wow, it's a close up.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Grimes. What's funny is Scott Grimes, who's the voice of Steve on American Dad, which is always funny to me.
Dude, that threw me off when I looked it up. I was like, "That's Steve,
Dad."
the R&B legend, Steve."
Yeah, my daddy. Wheels and the leg man. Like,
My body
and he,
all over.
yeah, and he was Robert Downey Jr.'s lawyer in fucking Oppenheimer. Like,
Oh shit,
yeah,
that was him.
crazy thing. Like he got, I don't know for what reason, but like his divorce was highly publicized like 4 years ago, and I'm like, why bring the voice is Steve? And like, I think his wife was trying to take all his fucking money. Was why
she's
they were
trying to get that residual money because they only 20th season.
Well, he was also on the Orville with Seth MacFarlane, which was Seth MacFarlane's homage / satire of Star Trek because he's a huge Star Trek fan, and it was him doing live action TV because he kind of had been trying to get into that lane. Did you watch it?
Like 10th season, I think.
No, they're either on the 3rd or 4th because they've had production troubles in terms of being canceled and then uncanceled because it was on Fox, then Hulu got it, and now it's up in the air because the Hulu Disney thing about if they're going to keep certain shows around. But
even though it's a Fox show.
No, it's officially a Hulu show now because
no, but it started out as a Fox show.
Yeah, it started off because he had his deal with Fox.
Disney owned Hulu. So.
Well, that was the thing is that Ted was a Fox property. The 2 movies are produced by Fox, and this is a Universal production. But it's also by MRC, who produced the first 2 Ted movies. But he took it to Universal because I think that he's looking for a new deal.
Yeah. In
terms of a creative deal. Because the same thing, like American Dad, going like the new episodes go to TBS. They canceled it on Fox 6 years ago at this point, I think.
Yeah, because that's how I watch it.
But like I said, this show just has some of the most outrageous. The gay truck. What's wrong with you? I'm gay. I like men. Okay. I've been fighting it for too long.
Bro, but
he hugs him like he's a baby. Like, shh, it's okay.
But if y'all watch the episode, it's the 6th episode. It was foreshadowing because
the whole time he was giving the
he's like, what did I tell you about college?
Yeah. That was your favorite
people gay. Yeah. College turns people gay. Playing frisbee, like that was improv too. You can tell throwing the frisbee like this. Like
some of the best stuff. I love the Halloween episode where at the end, when he gets the ostrich eggs. See, like the ostrich joke went on too long in terms of like, I got bit in the ass by an ostrich. Like that went on a little too long for me. But him getting the giant ostrich eggs to throw at the trick-or-treaters on Halloween, and he hits them and they crash so fucking bad. He's like, Johnny, this is what we've been doing the whole time. This is horrible. We were so wrong. It's like, it's so.
He just hit the cousin, like she just crashed off.
She like after he crashes her car horribly earlier in the episode, like. It's so good. And it being 7 episodes, I'm glad it only had a certain amount. I mean, obviously, they're going to do a season 2 because this has been wildly successful on Peacock. The streaming numbers have been almost as good as the NFL game. Shit.
Yeah, they said it's up there.
Yeah. And Seth MacFarlane, I didn't read the full interview he did about it, but he had said, like, he talked about doing more Ted, and Universal was like, what about a show? He's like, wouldn't that be expensive? Because, again, Ted doesn't exist. Like, they're literally talking to someone the whole time.
He got better CG than Aquaman.
Yeah, but it was good in the movie, and that was a decade ago. I mean, there was trickery because I think they said they had the Ted doll on set for Wahlberg to interact with, just in terms of like something was actually there, and then everything that involved movement was animated because obviously Ted's very animated with his hands and fucking smoking out of a bong and all his shit. Like,
unless you,
yeah, I don't know. Good.
I gotta put him over. He's a good actor. When I found that out a couple of years ago, it's like to interact with something that's not an object.
Mark Wahlberg. That's
it's
top 5.
Yeah,
top 5 movies of his in my opinion. Like Ted, the other guys. I like The Fighter. I mean that's the only David O. Russell movie I like. The boxing. movie.
With Christian Bale is my brother. Yeah.
It's my brother here. This show has some of the craziest Boston accents from the mom to the dad, especially like Scott Grimes turns out like I was in Vietnam. like Like I love the bit at the
If
end.
I
when he
start
makes
talking about Vietnam, start yelling. What are you doing?
No, louder. Like, but at the end, like, come on, Johnny, I need help unloading a kitchen, a refrigerator in the woods. Dad, it's 10 o'clock at night. That's the only time I can fucking do it. Like it's a crime, Johnny. Like, even the kid's great, being young Mark Wahlberg.
He was
and
on.
He was on Parenthood, the show Parenthood. Yeah. But to me, the highlight of the show is in the last episode when he gets cock blocked by O.J. Simpson inadvertently, like he's finally about to have sex with this cute girl after like losing her, and then like it's like, all right, about to have sex, and then like we take you to Los Angeles, California, and she's like, and she reacts like the president has been shot. She's like, he did it. And he's like, yeah, it's a real crime, isn't it a real shame? Well, come on, let's get. She's like, I can't believe it. Wow. It's like some of the, because it's set in the 90s, and it's kind of one of the best things because he's already come back from Hollywood. And I wish they would have delved into that a little bit. The bit about like me and Sylvester Stallone used to hang out, and he gave me his mouth guard. Like,
bruh, put it in. Paul,
that was one of the grossest things I've seen. Like I said last year, the scene in Saltburn where he drank the bathwater was the most disturbing. The second most disturbing was in Evil Dead Rise, when the soul is about to take possession of the mom. It rips the earrings out of her ear, like by wind force, and that had me go like, ah! Like, even though they eat glass and like cut themselves all over the place, and like that doesn't freak me out. It was like something like legit. Like when I had my earrings lit, I was always worried like, what if I'm gonna snag myself on something and rip my goddamn earlobe open? Like that's real fear, not someone swallowing glass because they're possessed. But yeah, I mean, it's hilarious. I might have to run it back because some of it was good. But talk about the mom, because that's probably your favorite character. Is it just because her delivery with a soft voice and like, and they talked to me like I wasn't there? Like,
it's so many layers to it. You feel bad for more times than not every episode, especially with the cousin. She breaks it down like, you just gonna keep talking to her like that, and she doesn't understand.
Oh, it's okay. Like,
it's the comedic factor of that, but also she plays it as if, you know what I mean, like it's not okay. Like it's genius to this character, and the way the actress, I forgot her name, plays it.
Alana Eubank, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, you got it right.
She was the mom on the few episodes of Euphoria. She played Sydney Sweeney and Maud Apatow's mom.
Dang, she was in that. I haven't seen the first season since the pandemic.
The crazy thing is she plays one of the voices in Coco, and I'm like, is she Hispanic in real life?
I don't think so.
I think she might. I think she's mixed or something like that, or like half of something, because that's supposed to be like a traditional like Latin cast. But I was just like, okay, I never knew that, because when I looked at the voice cast of Coco, I'm like, what's she doing here? Like,
they got a second one yet?
Second what?
Coco coming out.
I think so. But famously, she was in Waiting. She was the waitress that was like batshit crazy. Or she was in that the Ryan Reynolds restaurant movie.
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, she flashes her hairy bush to everyone, and everyone like gets freaked out. So like, she's great at comedy, but like you said, like she just undersells these moments. And in that article I skimmed, Seth MacFarlane said like he kind of wanted to bring back Married with Children in a way with this show. Like he wanted that type of vibe, and she's not quite Peggy Bundy. No. But she had that great moment where she's like, I'm not going to go back to the school. Why? Because I don't want to. Oh my God, did I yell? And like she barely raised her voice, and like,
and they called everybody off guard. It was like, whoa.
And this is after Ted had torn that girl apart. We're like, are you really going at her for everything going on at home? Was your uncle's really your father? Like, he runs her down. It's one of the best. Sick. Everyone knows you're throwing up in the bathroom after you got a nose job. Like,
he did an Iron Sheik shoot promo on her, and I felt bad. So but at the same time, it was warranted. Because remember
okay, like
also two people, everybody plays a part. So the teacher, I forgot the name of the teacher before.
That guy.
Bruh, Everybody was
I
like,
need a
yo.
divorce.
Yeah, nah, like when Ted tried to get at him to get expelled in season 1, he started breaking down.
That's why the first episode's so great. They make him go to school and he tries his best to get expelled. He's like, I'm gonna do whatever I can. He's like,
what do you say to the principal?
He took our drugs. What do you mean? So that would be his drugs. Not exactly. And the principal's like, listen, Ted, I used to be the principal at this school. Oh, that's the fucking shitty school. Like
but then like, remember, he was being disrespectful. He said something about 227. You can say what you want about me.
My mom loved 227, so
really?
Yeah. She knew that 227 is the place to be. Like,
that's like funny.
I told you, because you've talked to my dad, you spent time with my dad, like, if you had met my mom, that's what I've always said before, like, my mom would be the other trippy podcast guest to talk to, because it would just be a lot of like
yeah, knowing that mom's like 227.
And again, it's like, oh, now I know why Davis is the way he is. Like,
yeah, because 227, you got to be, tapped in to watch that one, yo.
But yeah, when he said that, it's like, I will never disparage 227 ever again. I'm sorry. But when they do the if you hire my mom, I will ask a question at the assembly. A real question. Like that whole back and forth. But yeah, you should really just watch the show, because the whole point of Ted was like, it's an animated Teddy, but like it was one of the best ideas of all time. That's why when I heard the idea when it was going to be a movie, like they're like Seth MacFarlane's going to make a real movie after doing Family Guy, and it's about a talking teddy bear that smokes weed and swears. I'm like, that's probably one of the best ideas anyone's ever made. Like,
but to execute it, it's just like the comedic timing of everything. And again, he does the voice for him. He does the voice for Roger. He does the voice for Stan.
Yeah.
And American Dad, which is, again, like Tristan just said, for 10 years now has been killing American Dad.
Peter, Quagmire, Brian, Stewie. That's why the best clip to ever watch about Seth MacFarlane is him, Charlize Theron, Emily Blunt, and Tom Cruise on Graham Norton's show. And Graham Norton's like, do all the voices. And he's like, he does it as he's like, do you think I'm some balking seal? I'm just supposed to do impressions for you? And everyone's laughing. And then this is how you know, like, this is like the first time in years like Tom Cruise is human, because Tom Cruise goes like, I can do Donald Duck. And he's like, you can do Donald Duck? Like, and it's like Tom Cruise embarrassed to like, like do a human thing. He's like, he does like the, that's you, that Donald Duck does, like with like the weird sneeze, and like everyone like loses it, because like it's like, oh my god, like this guy is human after all, because Seth MacFarlane, like he has to show up Seth MacFarlane somewhere. Like, this guy sings, like he does his Sinatra songs, he does his voices. Like, this guy is one of the weirdly talented guys in Hollywood. Like, I watched the live special that he did on Fox, where it's him and Alex Borstein, who is the voice of Lois, where they like sing like real songs for, it was like a charity thing, but he was like singing Sinatra and all these, famous old classics. He's like, ain't that a kick in that? Like, he's actually like this talented guy. When you see him, it's insane that he can do all this. And he has a great SNL skit that involves puppets. I'll tweet that later. It's like, or just look Seth MacFarlane SNL, and Bill Hader steals the sketch because he builds his puppet as him, and he's this Vietnam vet. He's like, when we were in Grenada, the napalm rained down like fire. Like, it was. He's like, that's a little too intense.
Seth is how do I phrase this? Obviously, he's one of the most talented people we ever seen in Hollywood.
And a true, because to write, direct, star, and sing,
film,
that's what I like. Yeah.
And
animation and film. Yeah. I mean, A Million Ways to Die in the West is okay. When I saw it in 2014, that's when I started doing my list of movies. It was somewhere in the middle, because I had some moments. One of the funniest things is that Jamie Foxx shows up as Django.
Yeah.
But overall, all of the jokes are like, except like the dad's like, I got the shits because it's the 1700s or whatever it is, or like it's because we got, because look at where we live. But that flopped, and I think that kind of scared him away from live action stuff until he did the Orville. Because I think he did Ted 2 strictly like The Hangover Part 2, like it's a paycheck job. Like the first one did so well, you're locked into doing a sequel. But Mila Kunis didn't come back for Ted 2, and that's why I never saw it.
Money. She wanted more money.
I think that's when she was getting into her, like, I'm going to be a mom now. I don't want to do this weird stuff. Even though she then did Bad Moms right after that. But I think it was more of a creative decision to, like, maybe she just didn't want to do it.
But it worked out for the best. If you, I suggest you see Ted 2 because it's on HBO Max, which is weird because Universal is Peacock and that's
Ted,
on HBO.
Ted, the first Ted and Ted the Show are on Peacock, but then Ted 2 is on Max because I think partly because of the 20th century HBO Max deal where like they had the rights on certain movies for a number of years, which was all the way going back to the mid 2010s.
Yeah, so tap in. I will say again, just to put him over, he understands his audience. You got the Family Guy crowd, which is mostly people that don't wash their ass. That like, you know, certain type of humor. The Cleveland show was for the Family Guy crowd because black people ain't watching that like that. I don't know. I ain't watching it. But black people are watching American Dad.
I like the Cleveland show because of the sons. I liked Rollo and Cleveland Jr. And then I did like the talk, and you can see that the Talking Bear was kind of I guess a test run for Ted. But he had the Russian accent, like, why do we talk like this? I'm a bear, huh? Like
it's just maybe it's the voices for me. That
it was definitely the weakest of his shows. It was Family Guy, American Dad, and Cleveland Show.
It's American Dad.
No, because to me,
I know more people that look like me watch American Dad than Family Guy.
I think American Dad was chasing it for as Family Guy was starting to fall. American Dad was rising up, but a lot of early Family Guy episodes, kind of this. I think some of the ones before they got canceled were good, but then when they got picked up again, those episodes right away were good. And I always enjoyed the Brian and Stewie centric episodes, and that's the thing he's good at. Like he can actually write good story because he's a fan of old Hollywood and those song and dance movies and adventure movies in terms of like this stuff, which is why the stuff that they always satire or parody works so well. Like one of the best bits is I know what you kids were doing. You were Aladdin, weren't you? Like if I had a time he's like, every week, the past 6 weeks, these kids have come into this ER with the same exact injuries. And then right as they get off the ER table, new kids show up in Aladdin and Jasmine costume. He's like, curse that damn movie. Like some of those jokes work because he has such a great mind to parody stuff. And so does Family Guy. I mean, I'm not Family Guy. So does South Park, which is why some of those South Park specials and some of those older episodes are so great because they knew exactly what they were ripping off. And that's why Team America is a great movie because he knew those two guys, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, knew exactly what it took to make fun of celebrity and movies. Like they're making fun of Armageddon and Pearl Harbor, which is why they have the song that says Pearl Harbor sucked, but I still love you.
Yeah. I haven't seen South Park in a long time, too. I haven't seen The Simpsons in years or South Park.
Simpsons, I haven't seen in forever. I mean, but again, the best Simpsons episodes are the Treehouse of Horror episodes to me. Because you're paying homage or you're satirizing something important or something well known. And to me, that's always good comedy, is making fun of something that we all know or like, again, like, I'm trying to think of a part of Teshoka. Go ahead, because as I think about it.
No, it's just like anybody that's from Southern California. It's like going to Knott's Berry Farm. You only go for Knott's Scary Farm. You ain't going during the regular season, so that sounds about right. I don't know what's going on over there. Like I know they still up on like pop culture references, but I don't know what's going on with South.
Well, see, they went the same route as Family Guy did, where the stories became more serialized, and more actual thematic elements in terms of just joke. Even though these guys even though South Park, I feel like always told better stories than, especially when you hear their commentary. like the episode where the boys play baseball and they want to lose so they can stop playing, but they continue to keep winning. So they have to keep playing baseball throughout the summer. And when you hear their commentary, Matt and Trey, they're like, I hated playing baseball as a kid. We were basically forced to play Little League, and I fucking hated it. And we're like, what if we did an episode where the boys hate playing baseball, but because they keep winning, they have to keep playing it? Like, they're so looking forward for the season to end. They win the championship, and that means they have to continue to keep playing. Like, that's great writing. That's great comedy. And that's the one where Randy fights in the crowd as the dad, like as the drunk dad. With I thought this was America. Huh? I thought this was America.
Damn, it's really been on that long? Well, 20 seasons, so that makes sense.
But I think it was the same thing where it might have been canceled and then revived, or they did the shortened season thing and then brought it back and staggered it, because it was always like a break glass in case of emergency. Like, whatever wasn't working on Fox, they probably went to something like, can you do more episodes? And he was probably like, for a lot more money I can. And they
because season 1 I think it was like 15 episodes,
and the whole point was the newspaper had like that topical headline in politics of like that moment in time, and it's a lot of the Bush administration. So yeah, it was always like Iraq or Bush or Bin Laden related.
Yeah, a lot of that in that first season of American Dad. Let me make sure.
But he works for the CIA, so he has to. That's why it was a good idea.
Yeah, you're right. It definitely was a case of that, because February 6th is when the first episode aired. It was only 7 episodes.
Yeah.
And then after that, and then the last episode aired June 19th. So yeah, there was a huge gap in between. And then season 2 was 16. The shortest season was 11, which was 3 episodes. What happened between that?
I think that was a moment again where they probably were like bordering on canceling it. And then whatever replaced it on the Sunday night slot, they probably brought it back, because that Fox Sunday night slot, I remember like waiting to watch New Simpsons, New Family Guy, New American Dad, New Cleveland Show, because when they turned it into animation domination, it was because all of their live action shows were failing on that Sunday night spot post football.
So, true story, because I worked on it around 2014. Maybe this is when Fox realized, this ain't gonna last too long with us, as far as the company as a whole. Because 2014, I was on the pilot for Wonder Woman. Remember they were supposed to have a Wonder Woman show, and the creator Ally McBeal.
That was the NBC show. Yeah, ironically with Pedro Pascal. Yeah, we're gonna talk about in a minute. Yeah.
So
it was David E. Kelly doing Wonder Woman, but it was the craziest version of Wonder Woman ever. It's like she was a businesswoman who doubled as Wonder Woman. It was like going to be a commentary on TMZ culture and politics in terms of like sanctioned sanctioned intervention, stuff like that, like political, like it was a crazy ass idea. A few days ago, I watched the trailer to the Aquaman pilot. Do you remember that with Ving Rhames? And the guy that went on to be the Green Arrow in Smallville was originally Aquaman in this pilot. But I remember when I found out this news a decade ago, because it's set to one of my favorite songs of all time, which is Downfall by Trust Company. So it's this boring trailer of exposition of like, I can swim with the dolphins, I can breathe underwater for 5 minutes, and then like when it picks up, the action goes, go, can I break away? It's like, let's fucking go. When the action movies had that like heavy metal rock to it, that's when, you know, like white guys had the power to like, let's make this shit fucking rip.
Yeah.
Like,
speaking of Fox, so if we're gonna stay around here, even though so God rest his soul, Michael Clark Duncan. Remember, it was a Fox show. It was like the last thing he did.
I might look that up.
Yeah,
I liked him on it. I liked him on 2.5 Men. I liked 2.5 Men because I enjoyed Charlie Sheen as an actor. I know he's not a good actor, but I just always enjoyed his comedic timing. But Michael Clark Duncan was good on those 2.5 minute episodes, but let me see.
Yeah, I think it was a pilot, or maybe they put it out and then it was a couple episodes. But
Or are you talking about the show The Finder?
yeah, that was a Fox show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because it was
a
spin. Yeah, it was a spin off of Bones. Yeah,
yeah,
with the guy that Hollywood was always trying to make something happen with because he was a good looking guy, and
Dude from
it just
Angel.
never. That was no. I'm not saying the dude from Bones. This guy Jeff Stoltz. No, David Boreanaz. Hollywood was just like, stay where you are, TV man.
Yeah, now he's on that. I don't know if it's still on, but that military show.
Yeah, the SEAL Team show. Yeah, with our guy Neil Brown Jr.
Dude, Michael Clark Duncan is the biggest human being I've ever seen in my life so far.
We discussed WrestleMania X7, I said like they should have got him for a match,
dude.
Especially when he goes at Shane McMahon with the "get your ass over." Like,
no, if he would have connected, it would have been it.
See, because I'm on this Patrice O'Neal run again, listening to him on Opie and Anthony.
Always.
And he talks about hating Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin, and he hates it because he's like, I don't want them to turn white characters black just to do it. You ain't got to do that for me. I didn't ask for that. I'm like, but that's great casting. It's Michael Clark. Like, he looks like the Kingpin. Like, I get what he's saying. Yeah, I get what he was saying when he was like that type of like casting, just to like, what if we made the Kingpin black? Like, because that's what Hollywood tries to do, especially. But
now,
but I was like, that's one of the best castings of all time, especially the fight scene at the end where he just like throws Ben Affleck against the fucking glass. Because like that's what, even though Ben Affleck is 6'4", 2 something, like it'd be a much more even-sided fight.
That's why it was great casting. I think they just mainly thought about that scene. It was like,
it was Dijak Keith Lee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it was like, you got the right one. Be it that it's Ben Affleck 6'4", probably 205, 210 at that point.
Oh, no, I think heavier than that.
Well, you see how he was next to Michael Clark Duncan. That let y'all know.
Yeah,
how big of a human being he was.
But Michael Clark Duncan is like the Aaron Donald thing, where like, how do you have abs while weighing 300 pounds? Like,
dude, and obviously I saw him towards the end of his life. This is probably 2-3 years before he died, but he's still like, it's like, dog, how do they make this? How do they make human beings like this, bro? And he from Chicago back in the day. He from the South Side back in the day, bro. He from the same hood as JJ from Good Times.
See, I just, again, Instagram Reels, I just watched the clip of them. Did you ever watch the movie The Slam and Salmon?
No.
Oh, it's the guys that did Super Troopers, the Broken Lizard guys.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I've seen Super Troopers countless times.
Yeah, it's them. It's a movie about them like in their shenanigans in a restaurant instead, and he plays this boxer who owns the restaurant. And I forget. Oh goddamn! I might have to try to find it. But like, he says some quote, and he completely says it. Like, he gets the saying wrong, and it's just like, oh, it made me miss him. I'm glad that you brought him back up. But yeah, it probably was WrestleMania 2000. But I thought he was that buff. I thought he did back-to-back Manias because he was a legit fan. But yeah, maybe he interacts with Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 2000. But I thought he was also in the crowd at X7. So, but
he was at both because he was a big mark for the business.
But what I want to say was, because speaking of Pedro Pascal, there is this movie coming out this year. And I forgot to bring this up when we were doing our most anticipated movies. That's only because there isn't an official date yet. It's premiering at Sundance right now. It's called Freaky Tales. It's by Anna Boden and
that ain't too short.
It's the movie that he's producing.
Oh, I was joking because that's his song, but he legit in this movie.
He's a producer on it. I'm looking it up right now to get the full details because you might be interested.
I met this girl round the way. So
it's by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. They did the first Captain Marvel movie. And this movie is in 1987 Oakland, a mysterious force guides the town's underdogs in 4 interconnected tales. Teen punks defend their turf against Nazi skinheads. A rap duo battles for hip-hop immortality. a weary henchman gets a shot at redemption, and an NBA All-Star settles the score. And like I said, here's the cast of this movie: Pedro Pascal, Ben Mendelsohn, who was Talos in Captain Marvel, and he's always the bad guy with lisp and a lot of stuff. Great actor. Jay Ellis from Insecure, Lawrence. Angus Cloud, the late Angus Cloud, Fezco from Euphoria.
Okay.
Dominique Thorne, who is Riri Williams in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So Ironheart's in this movie, and then Normani is in this movie. I got your attention now. Normani, the singer.
Normani?
Is that how you say it? Is that Normani?
That's how I can say it. I can say it in 20 different ways. I can say it in tongues.
But they are in this movie. Again, we talked about the Bay Area last week. This is 1987 Bay Area. So this is a movie. This is a movie produced by Too Short. He's an executive producer on this movie.
You think Big Michael watched this?
Well, there's been some Bay Area stuff happening in the last couple of years. There was I never saw it yet, but Sorry to Bother You. That was a Bay Area movie. Yeah. The movie, and then it became a show, Blind Spotting. I never saw that. And then again, I think Boots Riley, who did Sorry to Bother You, he has that show I'm interested in because again, it's a great idea. The I'm a Virgo show, in which the guy is 12 feet tall. I haven't watched it yet. I'm about to try to get to it within the next couple weeks. But that's Barry.
My guess is great in that.
He's great in the trailers. Like, get your big ass down. You're too big for this house. Like
he played a serious role and he was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the Bay Area, we were talking about it last week. It's just particularly Oakland. Your heart belongs in Oakland. So are you going to be anticipating this movie now that you know who the star and the?
You said Normani. I'm all in, brother.
But again,
that's all you have to say.
But again, teen punks against Nazi skinheads, a rap duo battles for hip hop immortality, a weary henchman, and then an NBA All-Star. So is this? I wonder, are they going to use a real Golden State Warrior potentially? Like,
it might be Jay.
I know I don't want to get like racial and be like, well, Jay Ellis is going to play the NBA. What if it's Pedro Pascal who's playing the NBA All-Star?
Yeah, no, it's more likely going to be Jay. Looking at the cast right now. Shouts out to Dominique. I'll say this. Me and Van, if you're still listening, I meant to text you. Yeah, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, classic, bro. Don't nobody disrespect it. Me and him agree.
No, because we did this episode in which you were. What restaurant were you in again?
Third greatest restaurant in the business. It's called Taco Bell. Number one is Arby's. Number two, McDonald's. Then we go Taco Bell.
You did that episode with me, Van, and Eve talking about Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And I thought Van was kind of down on it. And then I seen his tweet where he said certified classic. And I'm like, this is the shit I'm talking about with this man.
Yeah, no. Hey, for me, I was on. Look, I done seen that movie 4 times. 4 times since it came out. Love it. Saw it twice, back to back.
I think I know what he means. If I remember correctly, like we all agree that the weakest part of the movie is the Shuri part. The best part of the movie is the Okoye, Queen Ramonda, Namor, and
why was it Shuri? Tell the audience, Davis.
No, because she wasn't ready to carry most of the movie. I like the fight scene with her and Namor, but like in terms of carrying most of the emotional weight, Angela Bassett does a way better job. And really, Lupita could have carried the movie a lot more than she did, and it was a great reveal when it happens. Like, no, I did enjoy it.
Tell people if y'all ain't seen the movie yet, you just I think it's at a bill by now.
Well, no, when it was happening, I'm like, is she gonna be in this movie? Like, I know she's in the casting, and I'm like, but when's she actually gonna show up? And that was a great reveal when it happens. But yeah,
he got his nose white, Tristan.
That's one of the best scenes when he goes, Fishman, and then he just goes.
We should find the Fishman and kill him.
Yeah, we should kill him.
Bro. And then again, I say it's a great movie because number one, it wasn't supposed to happen. Again, you can't just get rid of Michael Jordan and expect us to win the championship. They still won a championship.
I don't know if it's that far.
They made a bill. They made a bill.
No, they didn't.
I mean,
they felt
700. No, 700.
Like,
right?
Yeah, it was like 750 or something on that. Yeah.
That's worldwide, 700.
Yeah. Because again, the highest grossing movie of 2022 for Marvel was Multiverse of Madness, and that it almost reached a bill. It was 900.
Oh yeah,
because Thor: Love and Thunder was, I think, also 600 or 700.
I forgot that piece of shit. Doctor Strange
Yeah.
movie.
No, I hate. Again, I saw Thor: Love and Thunder literally at the wrong time in my life, but it was awful regardless.
Bruh, 2022. Hey, I was starting to look. It was looking dangerous for Marvel. That's when it like the end is near.
It was 2021 when we were doing a full year of the pod, because it was the shows and the movies. It was WandaVision,
Loki,
which I enjoyed a lot. Loki, which I enjoyed a lot too. Falcon and the Winter Soldier as a show was but then we had Black Widow, the movie, which wasn't good. We had
I forgot about that.
Shang-Chi. I do like Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi and the soundtrack was fire.
And then Eternals, not good. And then
Never saw
No Way Home, great. So
say again.
We're not going to do this again,
right? Because it's been 3 years, and I'm saying that movie still wasn't good. It's been. Have I harkened back on that? Have I tap danced around that? No, I've been saying for 3 years. Anybody that's been knowing me for 3 years or longer, I've been saying that. No Way Home is not a good movie, other than that hour when the old man shows up. When Old Yeller shows up, that's when they get good.
I enjoy the first few hours. I know I'm the only one, but I do. I like him trying to be a teenager, trying to have a girlfriend while trying to get into college. I enjoy all that stuff.
While the world is ending.
It's no, it hasn't. That's a bad take. But speaking of Ryan Coogler, him and Michael B. Jordan are reuniting for a new project, except no one knows what it's about. They just announced this.
My fault to cut you off, bro.
No.
I think they talked about it a couple of years ago, or it was something rumored. I think they were trying to do Mansa Musa.
They were the first thing that they were supposed to do after Black Panther was this movie about a teacher who fixes his students' SAT scores. It was based on a true story. It was supposed to be this drama, like Ryan Coogler going back to it, like his drama roots. And it seems like they're skipping over that story. And I don't know why, but everything about this new project, they say this is the first spec script from Coogler through his production company, Proximity Media. His only other spec script was Fruitvale Station. And they say this is a new one, fully internally developed project. It's an original idea from Coogler, who will serve as the lead producer. And I think his wife will also be a producer on this movie as well. I just want to make sure that's her name. But I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing them team up again. Creed's one of my favorite movies of all time. It was my favorite movie of 2015. And they are the new De Niro Scorsese in terms of like guys that when they get together, they don't miss really. Because again, Killmonger in the first Black Panther, his scenes, okay, I guess speaking of Wakanda Forever, his scenes okay, but it's just there to like for shock and awe. It's not meant for substance, even though they try to play it like that at the end with the embrace who you are, like, you know, this is who you want to be. But that was a great cashmere robe he had on. I wish I would have something like that.
Yeah, he had the brunch dreads in, looking like Brandon T. Jackson. Yeah, that was cool.
Two sources have said there is a period element to the story. Coogler's camp had no comment. They said this is being described as a genre film. So there's not much else to say at the moment. Like I said, this was just announced. Like I said, the bigger thing was that, like I said, it wasn't going to be this teacher drama. And also in news, Steven Soderbergh has a new movie in the works, written by David Koepp, one of the most legendary screenwriters in Hollywood, with Kate Blanchett, Kate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender starring. It's a spy thriller called Black Bag. And you and I both love Steven Soderbergh. He basically can do no wrong. One of the all-time technicians in Hollywood. And he's just moving from project to project.
Yeah, I like the fact that people are trying to try something new, despite the fact that these greedy studios want to re-up, because God forbid if we lose a couple $1 billion when we worth hundreds of billions of dollars during a writer's strike. So, yeah.
Well, he's in this stage where his movies don't need to make money. I mean, I don't need like huge budgets to be made, is what I meant. Because he's been making movies quick and fast for the last 6 years.
Yeah, here it is, 2018. I don't forget people. I don't forget stuff, people. I don't. I got a crazy memory.
Yeah, they were announcing a couple projects, but it was like he was already tapped to do Black Panther 2. And this was before the Chadwick thing derailed it in terms of the initial version. So it was one of those things like, how is he going to fit it into his schedule if he has that taking up a lot of the time? And just like when Rian Johnson was announced to do his own Star Wars trilogy after The Last Jedi, he went on to do Knives Out, and then they're like, we're going to get Knives Out sequels. And it's like, then what about his fucking Star Wars trilogy?
No, you can't. I'm listening to what you're saying, of course, Dave. Look, bro, you can't remake Lean On Me. You cannot remake that movie, Tristan, for so many different reasons. You smoke crack, don't you? Jump then, Simpson. Jump. You doing perks, don't you? Jump then.
Okay, we ain't got to take it that far. And so we'll segue into our new thing. So my Guy Ritchie, has a new project in the works called The Fountain of Youth with John Krasinski and Natalie Portman as the stars. They're going to play a brother and sister who search for the Fountain of Youth. It's an action adventure for Apple TV produced by Skydance. But earlier this week, they dropped the trailer for The Gentleman TV show on Netflix. And The Gentleman was my favorite movie of 2020. I'm nervous for this show. Apparently, Ritchie's just directed the pilot and co-wrote the pilot. I don't know how much more involvement he's going to have in the series. He had no involvement in the Snatch TV show, and the Snatch TV show was not good. I watched the first season, and it was on Crackle, so that made it even worse. I had to watch the shitty Crackle. So I hope all it has to do is be better than that. But I enjoyed the trailer. And obviously, they were not going to get McConaughey or Colin Farrell or Charlie Hunnam to come back for the show. It's a new story set in the same world, though. So that'll be interesting to see. And the cast is pretty good. It's Vinnie Jones, Ray Winstone, who have ties to British crime films. Obviously, Vinnie Jones was in Lock, Stock, and Snatch. And that'll come out in March. But coming out next month, finally, is the Vince Staples show. I've been waiting on this since they announced it. Since he was doing the YouTube version of it, and it became a full-fledged show. But also, like The Gentleman, I am nervous and excited for the show. I'm nervous because Kenya Barris has been attached to it. And he made You People, which was probably the worst movie I saw last year. I said that, I think, on last week's episode. It was truly horrendous. And Eddie Murphy is good in it. He's the only thing good in it. Only because he has that scene where his character is finally revealed and he comes into the restaurant and he's Eddie Murphy, just jokes and jokes and jokes. He's like hair and this, like, the food, and like he just does like stand-up comedy. And I'm like, why can't you just do a stand-up special instead of this shitty movie with Jonah Hill? But
yeah, he promised us a stand-up special
6 years ago.
14.
Well, in terms of like when he was announcing like his comeback after Dolomite, he said, I'm going to do a stand-up special for Netflix. I'm going to do Coming to America 2.
What it is?
Go ahead.
It's like breathing for him, bro. So it's probably like if I do it.
Okay.
Doing stand-up. It's like if I do stand-up, bro, it's like breathing. Like, I'm gonna kill it. That's how good I am.
That's what I mean. Like, just film yourself doing something. Just like film yourself on set. Like, you ain't gotta make a big spectacle about it. Again, just like do Instagram, but like do what The Rock does on Instagram. Just point the phone at you and talk to
Eddie
us.
Murphy is a better
shit
talker, even at 60 years old. Better talker, funnier, better actor by far. Hell, sock puppet more entertaining than the
He does not look like a guy who, just like Tom Cruise, he does not look like a guy who's 60 though. That is a crazy thing. He does look like an old guy, but not like a 60-year-old guy.
The Hollywood diet.
Yeah.
I don't need to elaborate because this ain't the time for it. But yeah.
Oh, the blood and the baby blood and all that. Yeah.
I ain't say all that. Maybe a little bit of bended and knee, but.
But you're not anticipating the Vince Staples show like I am.
Absolutely not.
Why? I know you don't like Vince Staples as much as I do, but come on.
Well, y'all want to take a guess as to why? Anybody know me personally that follow me on Twitter when I had one? Y'all take a guess as to why.
Do you really hate like the Southern California of it all with him? Like that? Like that's his thing?
I hate him for reasons I don't want to speak here.
That's what the whole point of the podcast is.
Because somebody always talking about him on Twitter that I had to block.
Or Dot.
No, not you. No, not Dot. Because that's slander I welcome now. Because why is she always talking about him?
Who is she?
Don't worry about it. I'll tell you off here. Some Twitter woman.
Oh my God.
Now listen to Scare the Hoes rap. She loved Earl Sweatshirt.
Are you saying Vince Staples is scared of the hose?
Absolutely.
No.
She the only woman that listens to Vince Staples. I'm from LA. I ain't never heard a woman say, I ain't play that Vince Staples, honey. I ain't never heard that. You know what they want to hear?
Play that North, homie.
Yeah, they want to hear SOBRB. You know, they from the Bay.
Give me a can of Sprite and play that Vince Staples.
They definitely not drinking Sprite. LA women just drink liquor.
I mean, sometimes Sprite tastes like liquor.
Yeah, well, no, they cognac, brother. E&J, they drink that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No water.
But look, but you love Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I don't know why. I don't know if Van's still here, but like I said,
better than Seinfeld.
And we can have that discussion. You can bring in Van, and you can have the 2-man power trip. Again, I don't give 2 fucks about Curb Your Enthusiasm. Seinfeld is. Bro,
how you get mad at the creator?
Seinfeld is way better because it involved Jerry as well. It was the both of them. Yeah,
but the main writer was fucking.
And Larry, to me, like as bad as they say. Well, I mean, Jerry is a bad actor, but as bad as he is as an actor, Larry, I think, is overrated in terms of just.
That's why it's hilarious, though. That's why it's, bruh, the stuff he said.
And I get it. Susie has a voice that goes like this. Like, come on. Like
when they said, thank you for your service, he was like,
again.
Well, I said it. Y'all just said it.
It's the Seinfeld formula with swearing. That's all the only thing people like about it is like they can say fucking shit and that they can do more outrageous stuff because they don't have network censors. They have HBO.
No, because he's more so a curmudgeon. That's why. I like him because he's not optimistic. He just don't care. You know why? That's coming from somebody. That's how I feel about most stuff.
I know that's what, but it's not better than Seinfeld. It's not.
They had a better supporting cast too.
No, again, I don't like JB. I think JB Smooth.
No, I'm talking about Seinfeld. My fault. I shouldn't elaborate.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
They had Pat Cooper. So they used to having like these old school.
They had who?
Pat Cooper was on there.
But
I've seen Seinfeld. I'm just saying I like Curb.
No, I agree. Jason Alexander, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and even though he's a piece of shit as a human, but Michael Richards was great on that show. And then Wayne Newton is new. Wayne Knight is Newman, I should say, not Wayne Newton. Wayne Newton's a fucking singer.
Well, that was 18 years ago. And people still wanted to jump in for that.
You shit. Again, we ain't debating about shit like this. Again, just don't say it. Racist. Like
him versus Hulk Hogan in the versus of the N-word. Who wins?
I told you, no way Hulk Hogan helped that person in that car accident. He can't.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
No, I'm just saying. No way he helped.
Yeah, because he can't, bruh.
Yeah,
he tried to help. Hold on. This one.
I said this to Kiki. I'm like, he can't bend over to tie his shoes. How's he going to pull someone from a car wreckage, huh?
Oh, y'all thought I was tired, huh? Okay, 3rd podcast in a row. Let me tell you something. His fucking drunk son, another DUI in the past year. I seen the video from TNZ this morning. That Hollywood blonde jabroni, Hulk Hogan, he has a stick now. He tried to walk to go help his drunk son and the skeezer that was in the car with him. All right. He could barely, he don't even look like Hulk Hogan no more. He looked like melted Hogan. The ice cream bars that CM Punk was talking about, that's how he looks now. He got a stick, like he fucking Frogo Baggins or something. He got a stick now. He barely could walk. His arms are deflated.
Not pass.
You shall not do the leg drop no more. You crippled. He just, bruh, his arms are deflated like the lobster.
Yeah.
He just don't look good no more. Prayers down. He just don't look good no more. All right. He could barely walk. If you want to sit here, anybody that believe that, obviously not y'all, because I got common sense. Those people that believe this old motherfucker could actually use a pen. They said a pen. Am I not mistaken? To puncture the tire.
I didn't read the full thing after I saw they said.
Yeah, I think they said to puncture the tire. He used a pen.
Like, helped how? By calling the police? That's the only way he can help.
Because all you see is a picture of him just looking. How is that helping? Because I looked and called the police. Oh, your crippled hands could use 911. It can call it. Hey, any day now, Hulk Hogan, you have to call 911 for yourself because your days are numbered. All right.
No,
one day, hey, every dog shall have their day.
No, we've discussed this before. The evil people will get to live longer because of their evilness, of their wicked ways.
Oh, okay. Huh? We pod now. Huh?
That's the truth.
Yeah, no, we can't have that conversation. I'm ready for that conversation.
No, again, look at the queen. Look at her husband. Look at all this shit. Again, they were living forever because of all their wicked ways. Again, that's one. Is that the real cure for immortality? Evil?
Yeah. George Bush Sr.
Yeah, see? Again, the man who fucking doesn't remember where he was when JFK died.
The vice president. His vice president.
Oh, I thought you meant the current vice president. I was like, whoa.
No.
Like, what are you implying, sir?
He shot his homeboy in the field, and they said, oh, he's straight. And he had 4 heart transplants.
Well, Dick Cheney again. I mean, Vice is a entertaining but weird and then kind of boring movie, but the whole point of Vice is advocating. No, it's a movie I've seen twice, and it's just because it's only because Adam McKay's like, Dick Cheney's so evil. Look at how evil Dick Cheney is, and then people are like, he's trying to make Dick Cheney seem like a glorified figure, and he's like, no, like, this is an evil man. Like, Adam McKay's whole point is like, this is literally a man who fucked everything up. Like, he's not trying to glorify that. He's like trying to show you like Dick Cheney is why the country's in the shape it's in and has been for years.
Like, bro, Vince gonna outlive us. Nick Mahan.
But that's what we're saying, you know. Like, look at him. He looks. Look at you, Chuck. You look sick. Like, that's Vince McMahon. Every time we see him, like, he looks like a sick man.
It's a work.
But he has a lifetime supply of Just for Men. That's the only thing that's working. Like, he's got a cane.
It's a work.
No.
Oh, he got back.
Come on, he couldn't throw that clothesline against Stone Cold. I mean, against Pat McAfee. Remember, he couldn't throw that clothesline. His arm was like.
No, that's the shoot because he old. The cane and all that's a work. Like, he got back surgery.
If he can't lift his arm past this, and this was the Gym Demon, of course he's sick again.
He tried to not go to jail, bro.
Yeah, but again, he needs a cane. All these guys need canes when you get old. Come on.
But all
Bill Jackson's got a cane.
That's different. He played in the NBA, bro.
Vince McMahon did steroids, just like Hulk Hogan did. Come on.
That's supposed to help you.
No, that breaks your body down.
He do be bodybuilding. I forgot he be weightlifting.
Yeah.
Dead pressing like 1,000 pounds at 74 years old. So yeah, you're right. I forgot he be really in the gym.
Look at the shape I'm in for an old man. Like, no.
Bro, you got bigger titties than Triple H did in his prime.
Speaking of wrestling, so we didn't get to talk about the whole Jinder Mahal, Tony Khan hook thing last week because we ran out of time.
And we don't need to. I mean,
no, I wanted to because I'm like, see, this is
why.
No,
I'm saying we do we talk about stuff afterwards because now we're not like other people that want to talk about stuff to get their ratings. We get our ratings from other stuff.
Yeah.
We talk about it now because it's funny to us and relevant now. It wasn't relevant to me back then. My fault to cut you off.
No, it's good. You're good because it was to me like, see, this is why, as I always say, like what Hulk Hogan said to speaking of Hulk Hogan said to Vince Russo, this is why this company's in the damn shape it's in. Because you want to be on Twitter, Tony Khan, like be a man, book a show.
Hey, Keeks, it ain't me.
Get off the internet. Because why are you gonna go whine and cry against fucking USA Network? Like you're a loser. What is he saying? Sandler? He's an L-7 weenie. Like that's Tony Khan. Like come on. Like the kid's a klutz.
Wow, I haven't heard that phrase in years, yo.
That's Tony Khan. Like he wants to go run and be like, this isn't that bad. Like, come on now. Yes. First of all, yes, Jinder Mahal does not deserve a title match.
Okay, now you're just being disrespectful.
No. See, this, you're just as brainwashed as.
No, bro, go ahead so I can start talking about I was behind him during the run.
That run was almost going to stop me from watching WWE.
Why?
It was
because you just like the rest of Marks. Why?
He can't talk.
What you mean he can't talk?
The modern day Maharaja.
And that's entertaining more than 95% of the people in the wrestling business today. Who cut it better besides the best? Who could? Yeah, right now.
Timeless Tony Storm is the best promo in the world right now. She is literally the best promo in the world right now. She told a woman, I'm going to punch you in your box, your fuzzy box. Like, do I know you? Like, I don't think I do. Like, Jinder Mahal can't talk. He can't wrestle. He literally can't wrestle.
Oh, you lying now.
Oh, congratulations. I can do the fucking half Cobra clutch slam. That move sucks.
Oh, what are you talking about? Overall, he got better overall work rate than most people today.
No. He makes Dominic Mysterio Mysterio look like Will Ospreay. That's how bad Jinder Mahal is.
I gotta hit you with the Nigerian head.
He is horrendous. He was bad. Again, that shit was 7 years. That shit was 7 years ago, and it was horrible.
It was in the third grade.
It like literally, I stopped watching SmackDown almost because it was that bad. I couldn't take it. It was bad. Hell no. See, this is no.
You going to timeout, brother.
That is the worst take.
Love you, Ben. You going to timeout.
No,
it ain't too many people breathing dead.
As overrated as Randy Orton is.
There. Now you're being disrespectful.
No, as overrated as he is, he can turn it on.
How is he overrated?
Because he's settled. Again, he coasts. He's James Harden. I do it when I want to.
Okay, is that a bad analogy? It's a whole
but I'm saying like this is the Will Ospreay argument. Do you want to be run and gun until you can't run? Because you have all of the ability to. It's what they were saying about how Russell Westbrook would end up. Like, if you play at 100 miles per hour, you're gonna crash at 100 miles per hour.
He can still work. I don't understand what
he's got. One of the best snap power slams. Like, come on, like he's got a good array of moves. Like
you telling the story in the ring, move by move. It ain't spot after spot. The spot is for you to get your spot in, yes, but at the same time, before I get my spot in, I still have to conduct the move and telling the story. Either it's coming selling, I'm bumping, or I'm putting the other guy over in the match.
No,
Am I crazy? Am I taking crazy pills?
But anyway, he argues about Jinder Mahal not deserving the title shot because people are mad about Hook. First of all, the Hook title shot as a booking decision was ludicrous because it was just a cool thing to do. Granted, the match turned out good. I liked 90% of it. What I would have done would have just gone straight Rocky 3, where he gets washed within 6 minutes. Because those were hand-picked fights, Rock. That's why you won. Those are like, that's all Hook has had to this point is hand-picked fights. His only loss has been to Jack Perry, a guy who cheated, but he's beaten everyone before and everyone after. He hasn't faced anyone like Samoa Joe in a pure wrestling match yet. All his matches have been squash matches. Yeah, he's had his moments where he's T-boned Big Bill or he's wrestled Wheeler Yuta in FTW rules, but he hasn't had a straight up wrestling match. And I'm not saying like that doesn't merit him skipping all the way to the front, like Tony Khan was trying to say, like, well, look at his record. Well, now you want to bring the record in when we don't have rankings. So that part of it is flawed. But what I would have had done was, like I said, have him get squashed in 6 minutes, no offense. You do the Brock Lesnar thing where Samoa Joe just hits all his moves on him and Hook can't get up after a certain point and then loses. And then Hook does we'll keep it Rocky 3. He goes, gets the Eye of the Tiger, beats some real competition. We can give him some big names for him to beat. And then they have a rematch, maybe at a pay-per-view. So there's a real story to it. And you do Rocky 1. He loses. He still loses, but he goes the distance. It's a more competitive match. That's how I would have booked it. The way they booked it in the match on Wednesday still kind of worked for me, where Hook didn't get too much in, but it made it look like you got heart, you got heart, like, because he kept getting up after getting, his ass kicked and he only got a few shots in. But regardless, I'm like, you rushed this when you could have booked it smarter with a better future, and then have Hangman and Swerve at the end, because that's the real story, is this triple threat match that they're going to do with Mr. Guyliner around the eyes. But yeah, it was like, that's all this fight was. And the Jinder Mahal Seth match, I didn't watch it. It was on my laptop, but I didn't watch it on Monday.
Maybe even.
But it didn't look good for me, like turning my head every few minutes to see what was going on.
Because Mr. Work rate, yeah.
Yeah, but regardless, I mean, defend Jinder if I've already just torn him apart. Like,
what I'm gonna say, because everybody gonna be against me because you ain't.
No, this is your show too. Defend it.
No. Because when I say,
do it, bitch,
bruh. So I'm trying to side as to why people don't like him. I don't understand what you really want. Like, from the time that he had the title to the time he didn't have the title, he had a great match with Nakamura. Y'all wanted Nakamura to have the title at SummerSlam? No. Randy was the only. It's like, dude, you by default you had to put it on somebody. The dude has the look.
They put the title on him for the wrong reasons. They put the title on
for
him
the show,
for revenue in a whole nother country. That's
what's the problem with that?
Are you watching a creative business or a money making business?
Money making business. It's the pro wrestling business. You're there to make money. It's the same thing with the film business.
No, but what are you watching as a fan? What are you tuning in to watch? Yeah. Are you tuning in to watch a company try to make money, or are you trying to tune in to watch a company be creative? This is the argument that what we talk about when people throw in business and which side is more successful. Like, are you rooting for a side just because they sold more tickets? Do you know how stupid that sounds? Because we can all agree, like, even during the dark period of the WWE in the mid 2000s, the TNA product, who were never selling tickets, had better in-ring product from time to time. It was a back and forth war, versus now it's much more skewed because creative's a bigger deal now, more than it's ever been, because it's all about trying to recapture those moments that everyone talks about. It's about moments, watching moments. Fuck moments. We don't have moments anymore. Where the fucking moments, Like,
well, that's everything now, and that's what I was about to say.
And Jinder Mahal had no moments.
That was a moment.
Him winning was more, and he had nothing after that, except when he said Shinsuke Nakamura had weird faces. That was it. That's the only thing people can remember, when he made fun of his Asian face.
Well, you didn't have to say it, but yeah, I know what you.
No, that's literally what he was trying to say without saying, I know this guy's Asian. Let me make fun of his face.
And Vince fed him that line.
Meanwhile, the man is of what descent?
Yeah. He's Indian, which is in Asia.
Where's India, brother? Like,
yeah, But he's Canadian. That's what people
Yeah.
fail to realize. He's Canadian.
No, I know that. No, I know that. But still, it's like,
yeah, but his ancestry comes from India and probably a certain percentage from Africa, but he probably don't like that. Anyhow, so the gender thing, and then I'll talk about what you just talked about, far as either you there to watch it for entertainment or the business, because I can tell you on both spectrums where everybody should be at with a logical mind. So with gender, again, I kind of just talked about it. I overall like what he was doing. I overall like the character. This is a couple years removed from 3MB. He got over, or he got himself over. Let's just say that. If we just take away what anybody would say, he got himself over. You're not supposed to come back after that. Him or Drew. You're supposed to be dead in the water after doing something that ridiculous and that stupid post boy band era. So for them to even be this far is pretty good. Why is he there now? What else you gonna do? It's just like that 2017, 2018 run. It's like, what else you gonna do right now? Ain't nobody else, because Mr. Workhorse himself, who's now hurt, gotta find somebody to wrestle against to keep saying, I'm that guy. Where it's like, okay, yeah, all right, I guess so, brother. But the other guys over there on SmackDown, he show up once a week. Or not once a week, he show up once a month, and people still going crazy. And that's a whole different conversation. And I'm not, I'm with it because I understand that, and I keep bringing this up. I understand he's still dealing with the stuff he's been dealing with his entire adult life. So people don't factor that in. And he got 5 kids. So I can't always be there when I'm going. It's kind of still here. But with gender, it was kind of a situation where probably spur of the moment. They put him out there. Then here come Dwayne, whatever. I don't even remember the catchphrase, and that was the first day of the year. That tell you everything you need to know. But
and the fact that, like we said, it was one of the worst promos he's ever cut in his career, that whole segment. But hang on, what you're forgetting is that, yes, like he was part of 3MB, they released him. He was in horrible shape when he was away from WWE. He then gets back in amazing shape. And when he comes back, he does 3 to 4 months of nothing. He feuds with Enzo Amore. He doesn't get over. He interacts with Gronk at that WrestleMania in Orlando, and that puts him on SportsCenter. That puts him on the mainstream media. And this is at the time a deal in India is about to be announced. And that's what I'm saying. This is a business decision, because all he does in between winning the title and at Mania with Gronk is he wins a 7-way match to get this title shot, and it's so fast tracked. It's, again, like, you didn't give this guy time to get over or become a threat. He wins a match to get a title shot, and this is why Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton are still feuding with their like real storyline feud. They're the story that had weight to it and backstory to it. So the whole push from the jump is what I hated, because it made no sense except business. Yeah. They made him U.S. champ the year later. I'm like, you did it backwards. You make him U.S. champ first and then gradually build him into being a real threat. Like what they're doing with Gunther.
Not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but that would be the old school way.
I believe in old school methods still work. Like, that's why New Japan dominated the last half of the 2010s from 2015 to 2019. That's why they dominated, because they had old school booking. From Styles to Naito to Nakamura to Tanahashi to Okada. And then when Kenny Omega got involved again, that was old school booking. Kenny Omega moves up from junior to Intercontinental title to then heavyweight champion. That's old. Same thing with Ibushi. Works his way up. That's old school booking. The template still works for a reason. And then Tony Khan was trying to say he was doing that with Hook, but like, again, not really. Like, you're Appalachian State, you're beating up the small schools, or more so Boise State, TCU. Like, you're beating up a weaker conference, and then you get your chance to face a big time school in a bowl game. And that's what Jack Perry was to him. And then ever since then, again, that's what kind of Wheeler Yuta was as well for a little bit. But like, this is your TCU and you're facing Alabama. Like, we all know how this is going to play out, because you face, smaller schools and you beat them handily. And him trying to say that, and that's where you can't treat it like boxing or UFC, where the guy who's won 4 fights and has a 12-0 record can face the 30-1 guy. You know what I mean? Or the world champion, because I guess it's what you would say about like Ryan Garcia, right? Like this, like Ryan Garcia was proving himself not to be legit because who has he beaten? Just because he has an undefeated record, does that mean he can beat legit guys? So,
well, all right. So getting off Jinder, pause. Let me talk about what you asked me for the state of. All right, I'll talk about Hook first. Not enough reps. Same thing happened with Shorty. Never mind. So it's not enough reps with him. He got to get more reps. So to throw him in
real reps, like real, I'm talking back and forth. Like,
yeah,
you have to show you can do this more than 7 minutes. Because otherwise, to me, every time it looks like his longest matches, it looks like you don't have much of a gas tank or you don't have much to carry your end.
Again, old school. You know what? Actually, we wrong. We right, but we're wrong. It's old school thinking that we're going with. We got to remember what AEW is as a company, who the booker is, the writer, which is this is the writer right here. So we got to remember all these key factors, and then we got to remember the state of the business right now. As you said, this is why the state of business. I've seen it with my own eyes. Trust me, in person, in the ring. Everybody now is conditioned to spot, high 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 spot. That's where the business is today. Cool. We're gonna do about 10 minutes. It's no storytelling in the ring. Promos, forget about it. His promo skills, great. Promo skills are great. The kid got to look to him.
Yeah, as a look of a character like that. Again, he has an appeal as a character, and again, he can hold like most wrestlers. If you can do your 5 moves, you're going to succeed. But when you have to, do the real work, can you? And that's the part I've questioned. And
I don't think it matters in this day and age in wrestling.
But you were just trying to say like this is a new era, and we have to think about new wrestling. But I'm like, but this is also the same company that put on the Continental Classic, and that's as old school as you can get.
But think about who were in the Continental Classic.
But that's the people like Hook are the people you need to put in that to put them, again, like Stone Cold says, put them through the paces. Let's see if they're legit. Because if you put them in that and you find out they can't, then you know that person has a ceiling. And then you find out what you can do with that person going forward. It's all about finding what this person can and can't do. Jinder Mahal, as we saw, at least in my opinion, can't be the guy with the title. Because in my opinion, he can't talk and he can't carry a match in terms of an entertaining match. You're right. He can do basic old school wrestling. He's from that mold. He can do the basic stuff.
Which is a lot.
But in this new era, when you're coming off Kevin Owens being champ, off Randy Orton's being champ, Bray Wyatt being champ, like what this guy looks like, nothing like these guys. He's such a throwback. How is he going to hold up to guys that can wrestle, guys that can go hold for hold, or guys that can carry 20-minute talking segments? And that's why it fell flat to me the whole time.
Well, also too, that's why he probably had the title, because Vince saw it as he got to look. He old school in the way he's playing the old school gimmick. So let's try to put the title on him and then see what happens. Obviously, it didn't work out, and then it probably was at a point like, all right, we got the revenue we need for this India show, so let's keep it pushing. But going to what you're saying and everything intertwines, it goes with what you asked me about. Do I watch wrestling for the business aspect or the fun aspect? Mm-hmm. At this point, it has to be by default the business aspect, because everything about WWE is business, which is fine because you got to make money. I don't see too many things that's entertaining in WWE at times, but that's not where they are anymore. As far as the wrestling aspect, it is now. Like I've been telling people for the past 4 years since the pandemic, it's for show now. Sports entertainment, they for real now. Sports entertainment. It's just like the actor business.
Yeah, because I'm definitely. Yeah.
I don't care if you can talk. You look good, cool. I don't care if you can't wrestle. You look good, cool. That's what it is. Can you make some revenue for us? Can you push some merch? Cool. You over. That's what it is now. And that's fine because everything has to evolve. AEW, leave it alone. TNA, if I want to watch work rate, I got TNA right there. If I want to see silly old type wrestling gimmicks, TNA. TNA is they stacking up people now. They got people on there now. People like, damn, I should go over there. If I want to watch old school wrestling, New Japan is still there. So it's still stuff for the dinosaurs like me. But if you want to watch WWE, that's fine. I think the problem is, and it's been for years, and I don't want to talk about no dweebs on Twitter because why are you still on that app anyway? No disrespect, but why? But I will say the thing that we are now is the way we are now is when we were coming up, especially me and anybody in there that's older, it was programs. And I think the problem is with the Jim Cornettes and the people like that, even though I like Jim Cornette, the problem is they still think about the program aspect of booking, like getting your reps, coming up from the mid or lower card to the mid card, trying to get over. That's done. That I miss those days too, but there are no programs. It's just moments. Like, all right,
No,
now,
because Gunter's doing that. Gunter's
but
doing
that's one person.
But that's something like that still exists. The thing is that they use it sporadically. And the argument I was making with Jinder is, why hasn't he been champ since then? How come no one's been arguing for him to be champ again after that first title run? In the last 7 years, how comes no one's been arguing for him to be champion again? In terms, because it wouldn't make sense creatively, right?
Well, what's creative now? What's creative?
No, I mean, like why can't Jinder Mahal beat Roman Reigns and be champion again? He's a former champion. Why can't he beat Seth Rollins? He's a former champion. Again, he's beaten Randy Orton for the title. How come he's never been champion again? If this is a sports / entertainment, again, if he has the skill to beat guys like it's a sport and this is entertainment where we can rig it, how come he's never been made world champion again?
Well, because you got, what's the best person I could use? I can't really use another sports analogy because, you know, obviously it's competition, real competition. No disrespect to wrestling, but this is actual competition. But when you got, again, I put Roman Reigns past everybody just because we ain't gonna see this again. So it's like, it's not, I understand what you mean too, but it's just like, you can't put somebody above him at this point unless they are him. Like, you know, the funny meme, like he think he him. I love that meme actually. He think he him. Yeah, but that's one him. And then Seth is just, you know, marketable. Let's be honest. But I feel like Jinder is marketable. But Seth is more marketable, if that makes sense. Yeah, I hope y'all understand what I'm alluding to.
Again, the whole appeal of making him champion was to market him to an entire country versus Seth Rollins, who was a guy who clearly wasn't getting over in mainstream America like they wanted. He wasn't a guy who could do TV shows or sell, you know, the product. He's not that guy. We hear him talk in these podcasts like he doesn't have a personality to him. And I say the same thing about Roman Reigns. He's not John Cena, who can go on Jimmy Kimmel and be John Cena the wrestler, but have like, oh, maybe this is what John Cena is like as a person. Because Roman Reigns on these shows is like, there's nothing there. Big E had that. Big E had that energy to go to talk shows and be Big E the wrestler, but like, maybe this is how he is in real life. He has a personality and he's being the wrestler. And that's why his championship run, we were hoping it would last longer, because it's like, this is the guy that can be a face of a company. You know, when we hope for these people to be, you know, they're really trying to do with Cody Rhodes, as much as I dislike it. Again, he's a guy that they do try to send to these outlets to promote WWE, what it takes to be a WWE wrestler. And Jinder Mahal was doing that for a whole country, and they only wanted it to get their foot into that country and establish it, and then never go back on it before anything else in terms of like I said, like, why not do more creative decisions with this guy as a key figure? Well, because he doesn't have the skill or he's not a draw to do it.
Also, too, they're in the state now with we gonna leave with the partner that we brought to the dance aspect because you got the money. Like you got the money.
Yeah, it's been established. We don't need to keep it going. It's already there. It's done. Yeah.
Like the dude, if we want to talk about Reigns ain't even the top merch seller. It's the Judgment Day. Judgment Day is the top merch seller. We just got $11 billion, bro. We can't. It's like, dog, once you go to space, you only the next place you go to is heaven. So it's like, where else can you go after this? So everything else is just an added bonus. So that's why at this point, it's just kind of like when you look at pro wrestling or more so WWE, you're looking at it from the business aspect and moments. There's no programs, it's just moments. Like, because everybody talk about now, who's gonna show up? My guy Okada now. Oh, he coming to
that
the East.
Segues to our final topic. That segues to our final topic because that is I'm 60-40. I think 60% he goes to AEW, 40% WWE. And like you're saying, like 40% is because he wants to go there, WWE, have those moments, have a WrestleMania moment, have the I'm in a WWE ring type of moment. It doesn't matter who's there for him to face. Again, in terms of like, yeah, him and Randy Orton's been a dream match because of their similar look and size. Again, John Cena's not around to do the dream match in terms of they were the faces of their franchises.
No, one more, brother.
No, I'm saying in the same way as it would have been years ago. Glory, they're called glory days for a reason. But
if we can get Cena versus Okada at Mania, hey man, that's his last match. That's a good way to leave.
But probably the 60% version of Okada going to AEW is he's already been established there in America. He doesn't have to reintroduce himself. He probably feels well acclimated there. The relationship with the Jacksons. And it's probably easier for a guy who just had a kid and maybe doesn't want to uproot his entire family to America right away for it to slowly integrate it. I mean, WWE probably would slowly integrate it too, but there's probably that comfort level more with AEW than there is with WWE. But like, is he going to be the guy who wants a WrestleMania moment? If that's even anything to him. Like, I mean, Jay White, when he talked, I think it was Chris Jericho, had said like when they did the G1 Supercard at MSG, he said, I know MSG is a famous venue, but it didn't hold weight like it should for an American. He's like, because being from, New Zealand, you hear MSG, but it doesn't like, it's not MSG like how we would think. Like if you and I were like going to sell MSG, I'd be like, oh my God, that's fucking Madison Square Garden. Like, but does Okada have that in him for being, a WWE superstar? And again, does he see how Nakamura's career has turned out? Like, I want to go in and, not go at a 50-mile-an-hour speed. I want to go at a cruise control speed, and
still make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. And the AEW thing could be the same thing where, I can turn it on when I want to and then coast. I can do what Bryan Danielson's going to try to do, where I wean myself off bit by bit, but I can still be Bryan Danielson when I fucking want to be Bryan Danielson. Is Okada interested in still being Rainmaker, full speed, the guy who carried New Japan, who, reignited the flame? Or does he want to be the guy who, like, now's the time for me to cash out and make these checks? Again, like Charlie Sheen, like, do I want to be a movie star or do I want to go to TV and tell these easy jokes because they're going to pay me a shit ton of money and I have a name recognition?
Always lead with hate, so why not now? I'm not gonna bash AEW, but it's unprofessional, man. That's the first thing I say when it comes to AEW. It just seems like, damn, bro, I just want to go to work. Why you always doing shit? Like that's how I feel about
too many problems, unnecessary problems, I should say. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, let's put wrestling aside. That's how I am as a person. Anybody know me personally or that's working with me professionally? That's how I am with everything. I don't care if I'm working at a job at McDonald's. I've never worked at McDonald's, but I don't care if I'm working that's why I've always gotten into it with jobs. Like if you're going to make me do extra stuff or it's always some extra stuff when I'm getting here, I don't want to be here because I just want to work, go home, bro, and get paid. That's how it is. So with them, it just seems like it's always something extra.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then the vet, y'all know who I'm talking about. That's who Hook should have had a program with, but he got to be on Rampage because he a nasty man. They ain't got no other vets on there that's really looking after the young people other than Christian Cage. Yeah, because even Adam, he wanted to be up on there, all up in the videos.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. And we can do. Well, no, because the
but
irony
they said I
is
was a madman when I said it years ago.
Oh, I've been saying the same thing. You and I have both been in the boat on that because on his podcast, you can hear how bitter this guy is that he had to retire when he did. And that wrestling was in this whole new era that he's not able to be a part of. And for him to always say, oh, I wish I could be healthy enough to work this young talent, show this young talent something. And like I was saying this on BRP all the time, like, look at those match results. How many times does he put over this young talent? And they can be like, well, the wins and losses don't matter. But it go back in like, this is, y'all want to cheer CM Punk. I'm not saying I don't, but like, you want to cheer CM Punk and not know what the man was fighting for. The man was saying, if I continue to do the job, how does that show I have value to be a face of your company? If I continue to lose and never win or never win when it matters, what does that say about me?
And at least he'll try to put over some young talent.
No, but what's interesting, if the Undertaker comes in, beats me and leaves, who's more powerful, who's more valuable? If Brock Lesnar comes in, beats me, who's more powerful and valuable in the fans' eyes versus me, who's there every single week doing the work? And Adam Copeland's thing is, yeah, he's beating Lee Moriarty, but he's giving Lee Moriarty a look. Lee Moriarty beating you would mean a whole lot more than you beat him because he's then able to say, I've beaten a Hall of Famer, a living Hall of Famer right now. That's what working that young talent is. That's what putting them over is giving them not a competitive match. Like that's what putting them over is. John Cena just did that with Solo Sikoa. And again, it's like, this is the man that took out John Cena. It was the same thing with him and Roman Reigns when he finally put over Roman Reigns. Like, wins and losses matter in terms of putting someone over. I mean, people can argue like, well, Bret Hart and Stone Cold, they put each other over. That's why the double twist worked the way it did, and that's why it can never be done again.
And also, too, it's all about this, man. Mm-hmm. Make sure the young boys is taken care of so they can take care of that. You done made your money, man. You done made your money, Adam. You done made your money, NDA Jericho. Y'all done made y'all money, bro. Let the young people cook because they need this, especially because they taking so many bumps off their bump card already because it ain't too many people over there know how to work. And people in general don't know how to work in this business, but let alone in AEW. So that's the only reason why I don't want Okada to go over there because he probably going to have to job to Adam Copeland, to Chris Jericho, yada, all these people that can't friggin' shine his boots, all right, except for Chris Jericho, all right? So he gonna have to go over there, do the dance. It's gonna be bad booking because the inmates are running the asylum. It's unprofessionalism, all right? And again, I'm not one of these people that go around disrespecting AEW talking about the product is trash, all right? Because WWE ain't got too many highlights right now in the beginning.
The inmates run the asylum there too. It's monetized running the asylum.
Yeah, it's too much money.
Yeah, no, I mean
with Endeavor.
No, a guy saying I want to show up when I want to show up is an inmate running the asylum. It's just.
You talking about Brock, or you talking about Roman?
It went from Brock to Roman. He handed the baton off to him.
But you know what I said about that just now, right?
But that's why I was saying to you, like, you can get mad that Mercedes wants to do the same thing because she had a catalog of constantly making the woman she was facing better. So if she wants to work a deal where she gets the same treatment of I want to show up when I want to show up, work when I want to work.
Why should she get that when she don't show up all the time?
But when she showed up, she was always showing up. I'm saying if you have a catalog of showing up for years and years, and then you finally stop because now you don't want to do it for years and years, like you were at the same pace you were doing, then that was the Roman Reigns thing. Besides the health factor, it was I don't want to keep doing the work like I was forced to do the work. And the irony of when I called out Jade for doing that was you have no catalog to just say, this is how I want to do it from the jump. You have no accolades to show I can do this and it's working for me. No, it's the same. And that's what I was saying about Wolf Hook. You can't just get pushed in this position when you're still unproven. Sasha / Mercedes has already proven it by main eventing WrestleMania, like you said, with Bianca Belair, having big matches with Charlotte Flair, carrying Ronda Rousey, carrying all the women, Carmella, Alexa Bliss, making all these women look like $1,000,000. And when they're not without her, what do they look like? Not good.
No, she could work. I've never said that. She's just inconsistent. And then you give somebody, look from a business aspect, you give her $1 million a year like a Becky or Charlotte. But then she gonna have one of them moments where she gonna start throwing a hissy fit. Then she ain't gonna show up. What you do? I just gave a star player $1 million. They ain't even showing up to the game. This ain't the NBA where you can get away with that. It's essentially be Ben Simmons.
CM Punk literally did it.
You said who?
CM Punk literally did it.
What company was he at though?
Yeah. But I'm saying it happens in wrestling. When did this happen in WCW? Again, Shawn Michaels was doing this in the 90s. That's what I'm saying. Triple H was doing this in the 2000s. Come on.
But he was still showing up to work. He hopped up on perks, but he was still showing up to work.
Was fake injuries to then say he could show up to work at a different day. Come on.
Bro, he was a drug addict still showing up to work. You know how hard it is? No, never mind. It ain't hard to get a drug addict to show up to work because they got to get the money for the drugs. So he was showing up to work. My thing is with her, yeah, she great and all that. But I told you off air, and everybody that know me personally, what I always say, if it was the other shoe on another feet, people would not be going up for her.
No.
If she looked like Oprah, would people be going up for her like they do? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying she ain't good. About Jay.
The people who clapped for Jay coming over to WWE didn't watch the matches in AEW because they were shitting on them when they did. And I saw the people in the chat like, Jade's still not good. Jade's still, but like, oh, I can't wait to see what she does in WWE. We saw what she was doing in that company for 2 years. What do you mean? It's going to be the same. I have to say it.
He said it.
It's going to be the same shit with different people. At least, again, Mercedes went to Japan and proved that there are still a tier of women above her. But she knew that. And that's why she wanted to go there. She wanted to prove herself against the elite. No pun intended, but like she knew, like if I face the women in Japan, that's how I'll really know if I'm better than them or not. And she found out, especially with the Mayu match, like damn, that's a whole different breed.
Gee, I right-handed guy, I'll be forgetting old girl even with WWE.
It was you know,
I legit be forgetting. I'm like, oh, she cool because I don't follow her on social like that. I'm like, bro, like I forget that she even on the E. I'm like, cool. And then every time she show up, what everybody say. I understand because it's marketing, and that's what you're supposed to do. Again, we in the age now. I'm the old head. I remember people had programs. I remember people had to get reps before they get on TV. I remember all that, bro.
I was going to say, when we talk about movies and the lack of movie stars, what do we say? Like, is this someone who's a good-looking person that Hollywood wants to make into someone? Again, Austin Butler. That's all we talked about. He had a catalog of being a guy I've seen in a lot of stuff, but when he was Elvis, it's like, is he going to show us he's a main eventer now? Or the same thing with Tom Holland post Spider-Man. Is he going to show us that he can play heel? You know, it's that thing where, or I always say this all the time, like Channing Tatum was a bad actor when he started. Obviously, he could do comedy early. He had that charm and those chops to him, but he couldn't be a serious actor. And Steven Soderbergh was like, in my hands, I can get the most out of you. I can hide your weaknesses, or I can bring, the side out of you that other people have been trying to do but can't.
What you just say, perfect timing. What you just said, yeah. You can do that in the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can hide someone's weaknesses. Yeah,
and it's a lot of them.
You can do that. That was the whole point of Triple H as a booker in NXT. When people weren't ready, he did it slowly. And he worked it over time. Like that's the whole reason Alexa Bliss exists. Was someone he was slowly trying to build. And
somebody I forgot.
And then what happened? Vince McMahon saw her and then pushed her to the moon, and it wasn't working. It was someone with a look. Again, it's the actresses that have a good look but can't act in the movie.
I forgot about her. Thank God. Good boy. I ain't gonna cut no promo Alexa Bliss, but boy.
But the whole, people had good tweets, especially Patrick Pryor with Okada coming into WWE. He posts a lot of the typical washed athlete memes. But I don't think you and I discussed is Okada washed because he looked again great in that Danielson
Wait, who
match.
said this?
Said what?
He washed. Who said this?
You and I have said he doesn't look good. Remember?
No. But who posted the wash?
No,
meme?
Patrick Pryor. Our guy. He posted like I can't remember what athlete it was. Like him in WWE. He's like so and so showing up on the team now. Like.
Okay.
The typical. It's not the like at you and on the Magic. It's just like we're getting the. It's more so Shaq on the Suns. Like he can kind of play. It's not the same, but it's not Shaq on the Celtics or Cavs.
Pat, brother, I like you.
Let me see which one it is.
Yeah, brother, I like you, but you gotta understand. He was in Japan. Yeah, his body is probably 56 at this point because he worked in Japan. When you go into E, it's gonna add extra years onto his life. Ask Dakamaru because he came around the same time. Pause. He came to the E around the same time. So he might look brand new in the E if Okada go over there. He might look like a brand new athlete if he go over there. It's a slower work rate. Well, no, actually it's way faster, but still, it's less on your body, and the rings are way softer. Even though all rings are hard, those in the E softer than New Japan, and you're not getting stiff. All right, you're not getting potatoed every single night. You don't have to work that strong style. So
I don't know. Again, this is the company where Gunter works.
Well, obviously, if they having him slap people across the chest, he got to be safe to a certain degree. So he ain't gonna just start off working.
I don't know. But again, Okada, he went after Kaito Kiyomiya. So Okada's, you hit me too hard, I'm beating your ass. Like,
yeah, no, I love that from last year. He said, "Boy, did he just hit me?
Too close, man, too close."
Now he does have 3 match obligations. I'm pretty sure the vet's gonna take care of him because they like, all right, let the young boy go cook overseas, so we ain't gonna hurt him too bad. But yeah, he do. So if y'all hoping he gonna show up at the Rumble, sadly mistaken. He ain't gonna do that unless New Japan worked on the deal.
Don't forget, they let Carl Anderson go defend that title in New Japan while still being signed. So they
no disrespect, but
I'm just saying stuff has happened. Again, they got Mickey James from TNA. Their stuff can be worked. We're in the era where again, until I see it, no one knows for sure.
And then again, this talk, New Japan they need some money right now. Y'all.
The only thing that would hold it up is the flight time. Obviously, like that's not a long. I mean, that is a long flight from Japan to it's Tampa, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there next weekend, people.
But yeah, I mean, it's
my thing is too. My fault. Before we get up out of here on this topic, well, if he show up to the Rumble, we got to win.
Well, this whole Seth thing is a real. Are they just going to do what they've done with Roman, where they're not going to strip him of the title? Like, is it like you're saying? Like, is this injury going to sideline him for months and months, and then they take that? Like, is this winner of the Rumble gets the title potentially at that last second wrinkle, and that's how Cody or CM Punk can get to it?
And why did they do that last time?
The title up for grabs in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Well, the Roman Reigns thing was, let's not forget, because Seth Rollins did get injured, but again, like
Mr. Work Rate himself.
But the Booker man wanted to make himself champion to get that last main event. So,
but again, who fault is that? Because he want to do these flippy moves in December. Because I am the workhorse. I want to be the working man.
Okay.
Your back already hurt. Go sit the fuck down somewhere.
No, watch him. I'm saying, yeah, his match. That's why his matches, when you watch, it's like the man can barely run the ropes. So I'm not shocked he tore his meniscus because, like, if you have a bad back, you can't do anything else. Like Ben Simmons, that's as much as we make fun of Ben Simmons. Obviously, Ben Simmons can't play basketball if he's got a bad back. What else are you gonna do?
Coochie hurt.
I know he's a pussy or soft, but yeah.
No, 70 in the ring, 1,000 chops. That's all he got. Couple little high spots. Pedigree. That's go sit down.
Do you think though this also is like Tanahashi got made president and Oka's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here? I don't trust this man.
I love Tanahashi, but hey, bro,
he made himself New Japan World Champion.
Like, bro, hey, we would just. It's like if you working with your homeboy and he become manager overnight. Like, hold on, bro.
And he telling you what shifts to do.
Yeah. And then, oh no, I would have left knowing that Matt Riddle about to come over here.
Like I'm splitting. Oh my god, is that what would have scared you? I gotta work with Matt Riddle.
Yeah, I'm about to here, bro. He gonna get us both arrested. They gonna think I got weed on me. Matt Riddle, go over there with weed if you want. I hope. Actually, I want you to go over here. If you ever listen to this, please go over there. Blueface gone for 6 months. I need you gone for 6 months too. Oh I need both of y'all. Some of them going to sleep for good.
I can't. I mean, but I think that they're losing Okada, they're losing Ospreay. Finally, they're losing. That as Bob Dylan said.
Did you know? I'm sorry to cut you off. Did you know Will Ospreay was autistic?
I think in the past he had said something, but him saying it again did remind me. Yeah. But I think in the past he had said something along the lines of that. Yeah.
I brought that up because that's really good for him to be that great.
Yeah, he said, I think he said it when he won the title from Ibushi when he cut that great promo, or was it when he won the New Japan Cup where he cut that like, no one believed in the little British boy, autistic British boy. Like I think he said something along the lines of that. Yeah. Because he got a really good emotional promo where he said, like, no one believed in me. Yeah.
Hey, if y'all need an example, anybody here that has a child or relative that's autistic and they need
he's
somebody
probably on a certain level of the spectrum. Yeah, it's the spectrum for a reason. Like you're certain levels and varying degrees to which he's probably at a one that can function at that type of level. It's a whole thing to dissect in itself. But yeah. I think like I said, he's either said it on a promo or I don't know if I listened to many of his interviews, but it was something I wasn't fully unaware of. I'll say.
Well, any level that you have, if y'all need to show y'all relative example, there you go. Because he wrestling. You know how hard it is to wrestle in general.
Yeah.
So,
but no, I mean, there's again the times are changing, and it's a real shakeup again. Samoa Joe winning a world title is still crazy as fuck to me. That's still one of the craziest things to happen because it's 2024 and like Samoa Joe's a world champion, and I'm like, what year is it?
Yeah, it's like that meme from Robin Williams.
And Roman Reigns is still champion. Then Roman Reigns is still a champion. So again, what year is it? I've seen this. This is a rerun. Remember Back to the Future? I've seen this episode. It's brand new.
Man, if we're gonna lose long-term booking, even though I hate doing that, if he keep it another year, I wouldn't be surprised. You got the money. When you got the money, you can do whatever you want. It's like Kanye. Kanye getting $850,000 teeth.
Oh, I was hoping we could talk about him having Dr. Doom teeth. Because
lockjaw.
Yes, that's the thing. I'm like, this man is literally turned into a supervillain. We're about to end the show right now, but that was the crazy highlight. Like, this man is Metal Mouth now. Like, come on, like.
For anybody that thinks he ain't a billionaire.
Remember, like the.
If y'all don't think he a billionaire, you're sadly mistaken because he just do random supervillain shit. You only can have.
First of all, do you believe Do you believe he has no teeth at all?
No. They say it's still in. They said the report is false. He still got his teeth. It's just
they're just capped.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you got to have a different type of tax bracket to be like, you know what?
Titanium teeth.
Yeah. Like, dude, and then cool. I've been overseas the past year. I just came back to America. You got to have money. I want to build a community overseas. You got to have a different type of money. The old Navy money gone, but some money's still over there.
The gap.
And you got to. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Old Navy is pretty good too.
Unless Old Navy is like, hey, this guy continues to have people give him money. He's just as bad as Zack Snyder. Like, how do you fall off and still get money?
It's different, dude. Bro, at this point, I just got to shake his hand.
That should be a real collaboration, Zack Snyder and Kanye West.
No, we're not ready to see that type of movie. And then, what else he doing? Like, it's just super villain shit that he do. It's like
he has titanium teeth. It's like he's Dr. Evil or Professor Chaos from South Park. Like he's that despicable now. It's like, come on.
Oh yeah, he doing that 40-minute apology video, which is like, I don't think you need to do 40-minute, bro.
Is it gonna be like ting, 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 when he talks? Like,
I think they shot it already with the teeth or without. I don't know. Now, if he do it with the teeth, he just asking for problems. Like, bro, this is not a real apology.
I like to say ting, ting, ting. Like again, he's gonna be like metal jaw, ting, 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 ting. Like a He-Man villain.
This is about to be the most obscure apology in history because it's 40 minutes, first of all, for apology. And then knowing him, he might throw a couple of curveballs in this. Like, y'all, hey, man, again, the dude is insane and everybody called him a genius.
He was, though, for a little bit. For a time, he was. I mean, the man made My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I mean, I'll call him a genius.
Y'all shouldn't have known to put him in a nut house.
But it's also what geniuses can do, damn it.
And this is coming from a fan of his. I'm just saying the dude is out. He's out to lunch.
But we just talked about a genius in Ted McFarlane, a guy who that's a genius in a way. Like, how can you do this and that? You know, like
he's different.
Genius, you know what I'm saying? Genius has levels to in terms of like wow, you really can do it all. But you must be one crazy son of a bitch. Like,
yeah, it's never here. It's always depending on the day.
Who's the most sane genius? Would you think?
LeBron.
No, because he lies. Come on.
Oh no, he was brushing his hair and his hair gone.
Yeah, he's a liar.
Michael Jordan.
Now you're just making fun of me.
Muhammad Ali was God rest his soul. Muhammad Ali
probably,
yeah.
No, I'm saying you know what, he probably would. Yeah. I'm just saying, because to me, the stuff it wasn't crazy in terms of like, he was right to say, I don't want to go to Vietnam. Like, that's what a sane person would say.
And then he said whatever else he said. I don't want to repeat it here, but y'all know he was absolutely right about that. Why would I go fight for them?
They
ain't calling me the word.
Yeah, like you said, like
he's pretty genius.
That's kind of why again I'm anti-war. Like, they haven't done nothing to me. I live in America, but they haven't done nothing to me. Like.
Right, and he was extreme, but to say that back then is like, whoa!
And a black man saying that, yeah, that's what really what it was. Like, this boy don't want to go to Vietnam, damn it!
Right, damn, dancing cool, throwing punches. He ain't no Jack Dempsey or Mickey Ward. Irish Mickey Ward. That was a real fight.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, who would have won, Andre Ward or Mickey Ward? There can only be one Ward.
Different weight classes, but Andre
I know they are. Same.
Matter of fact, I got to listen to the interview with him because his accent is OD. We didn't even talk about that last week.
Well, that's why I did bring up the Bay Area movie. Like, I want to know who in this Freaky Tales movie is going to have the Bay Area accent. Is your girl Normani going to have an accent like Brian Cooper?
God loves me. That'll happen. If not, I don't even care.
But we'll be back next week. We don't know what day yet. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment, all of that, share. We might be, what else will we talk about? We'll probably be covering football and wrestling like usual, but I'm just wondering what's next that we can watch or cover. I don't think there's anything. I watched all the Pirate of the Caribbean movies last weekend.
Smart man, one of the greatest movie franchises ever.
I had never seen the last two.
You should have stopped after 3.
The last one, I was just like, the fact that they continued to make that movie on production, like while production was going on, is astounding to me. Like, this man was phoning in his performance like I've never seen.
That's funny.
But
apparently they making another one.
Yeah, Margot Robbie.
They ain't offering Captain Jack Sparrow.
No, the whole thing with Bruckheimer said he plans to make a new one and he wants Margot Robbie to be the star.
I'll watch.
Yeah, she's supposed to be doing a lot of things.
She might. We're gonna have to talk about that. She might be the draw in Hollywood right now.
Oh no, she is. She produced and starred in a $1 billion movie. Yeah.
Am I mad at it? Hell no.
No, but again, thank you all for joining us and commenting and all that. We'll see y'all next time.